Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot tonight. I've got alongside me Mario from Hashtag Sports. Mario, what's up? Welcome.
It's always great to be a passenger in the cockpit, and it says I don't have any Jets gear. I just decided to roll out my green Under Armour hat for you guys tonight.
I like it. We got Blunted Vegas in the chat. Dank Derek, Joe S, Justin Levine, Bubs. What's up, guys? So much to get into. We're talking quarterback moves, NFL draft, free agency. Are the Jets splitting up with Robby Anderson? It sure sounds like it.
Oh,
what do you think?
Rough.
It's rough. It's tough for us Jet fans. I have a few.
Not talking about him.
I have a few questions I want to get to that were sent via Instagram. So let me just pull those up right quick. Oh, and by few I mean one. I didn't do many of these. Okay. Talk about the Tremaine Johnson situation. That's not really a comment. Whatever. We'll talk about the Tremaine Johnson situation. We saved $3 million by cutting him. Who else we got in the chat? Rawl, H-Man, the Jets, Tyson, Liam. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. It's so weird not having the music on my end to hear it. Like I can hear it playing, but not like through my headphones.
Oh my god.
So I gotta go a little bit. I gotta drop it down just a teeny bit. Good to have this. Did I see the interview with Sanchez and Darnold? I did not see that. I did hear about it.
It was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. I saw bits and pieces of it. Just seeing those two guys, the past and the future, going ahead, two California guys. It was pretty fun.
I like it. Guys, smash that like button. I have the first half hour set up. We're going to do comment questions. We're just going to go back and forth. And then around 8:30, we're going to open up the phone lines and talk some Jets. For tonight, I'm going to ask you guys to keep your questions short on your call-ins because Mario is unable to hear the question. So I'm going to repeat your question, and then we'll discuss it, and we'll move on to the next question after that. So we'll try to zip through some people. If you guys have not joined the Discord server, there is a link down in the description down below. Go join that. I have a question of the day for you guys. The Jets hold the record for the longest punt in NFL history. What is the distance of that punt? You guys answer that on Discord. If you guys go to the Discord, I'm only going to accept Discord answers today. We're going to try and push as many people over to Discord. So you guys have responded to my Instagram before and my Twitter. We're going to avoid that for tonight. We're going to just do the comment question in the Discord. So go down to that. There's a section called poll on the Discord. So go into that. You can vote for that. If you get the answer right, I will be giving away one shirt. I will raffle off the shirt at the end of the live stream. So you guys have to tune in the entire time. And then you can pick a hat or a shirt. Fun fact, look at this little hat. Little Discord guy on it.
Bam! Ooh, I love that.
Right?
I love the Discord.
Pretty dope. Threw that together.
Ryan, I think your question might be a little bit dated, and I don't want to say that I'm old, but I know the answer to this, unfortunately.
It's really old. You don't say it. You let these guys handle it.
Nope. I'll let them do it.
Let these guys handle it. What's up? I see we have a guest. 2 is always better than 1. That is true. We got Mario from Hashtag Sports. If you guys have not subbed up Mario, I definitely did not put it in the description now that I'm thinking about it off the top of my head. But if you type in Hashtag Sports into YouTube, you will find it.
Yeah, more of our stuff right now. It's a Bills channel, guys. Just letting you guys know. Hey, what's up, Joe S? But we talk really about like salary cap and the overall scope of the what's going on with the draft and stuff like that. We have a draft show. We have a great time with it. So just if you're not a Bills fan, you're still going to be satisfied with some really good salary cap and free agency talk. So.
And congratulations to Paul over at Hashtag Sports. Just had a new son, Benjamin, nicknamed Benjamin through some tables since birth. That's the nickname, I think, is what I've been hearing.
They removed all the tables from his floor when he was born, so they decided for that to happen.
I like it. All right, let's get into a few of the questions that I have kind of scrolling on the side here. I want to get your thoughts on some of the quarterback potential moves. Let's see. Let's start with Brady. That's the obvious one from our division. Where do you think Brady plays next year?
Well, there's been, we were talking about it yesterday quite a bit. There's a lot of smoke coming out of Las Vegas. Like not like a lot of smoke comes out of Vegas anyway, but a lot of people have been talking about him and Gruden going there. And I guess the talks that Brady has had with Joe Montana as far as Joe's telling him to stay with Belichick. It's not easy to relocate. But if you want to take a look at possible landing spots for Tom Brady in the system that he runs, it's a very unique system, the Earnhardt Perkins system that he runs. He'd have to go to a team that actually runs that, and the Bills actually run it. Unfortunately, the Titans try to run it. You talk about Bill O'Brien, but they got Watson. You don't know what the quarterback situation is in Tennessee, and the Bills have Josh Allen. So I'm not sure, and a division rival. So I don't think I really think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on with Brady. But
so you think the Patriots is what it sounds like?
Probably. I mean, why would he leave? Why he had the number one defense last year and didn't advance in the playoffs. So it's weird.
I'll give you my thoughts. Joe S., thank you for the $1.99 donation. Fire Adam, fraud 2021 is what we got going on. Look, for Tom Brady, I think that you look at a few things. He could stay with the Patriots if they give him, the weapons surrounding him. The only thing is, if he goes to free agency, that means they voided his contract, and the dead money from the remaining 2 years on his contract all accelerate to this year. So I think he's got like a $13 million dead cap hit.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of interesting to see from that. So they're either going to re-sign him prior to free agency and know they're going to bring some guys in, or you can look at a few different spots. The Raiders, I agree, is a very likely spot. I look at the Chargers and I look at the Raiders as the two potential outcomes because both those teams play New England next year, and I think there is a rift between Belichick and Tom Brady as to who is more responsible for that dynasty. And Tom Brady...
That's been going on a while, too.
And Tom Brady would get to verse the Patriots, and I think he would be the first, or not the first, with a fourth quarterback maybe, fourth player to beat every single team. Like, I think that might be his end goal. If he wants to play 2 more years. If he wants to play 1 more year. If he wants to play 2 more years, I believe the Colts open up as a possibility because the Colts and the Titans, I think, play the Patriots and like the AFC East 2 years from now, 2021. So who knows if he lasts that long. That's kind of my thinking on that. I think with LA and the Raiders, you have the opportunity to spread the TB12 brand. It sets him up for that mogul stage after the fact. I think you look at LeBron James, what he did going from Cleveland to LA was sort of similar in that respect. I think linking him up with John Gruden probably makes more sense than maybe putting him on the Chargers. I don't know. He'd be going to the AFC West regardless, though.
I don't know. The weird thing about it is that Anthony Lynn, who did coach in Buffalo, when Rex Ryan, a familiar name to the Jets fans, when he was fired in Buffalo, Anthony Lynn took over for the last game of the season, and Anthony Lynn ended up getting the head job which was San Diego, now they're LA. They do have Tyrod Taylor there, and he really likes Taylor. He's a little bit older now. Taking a 42-year-old Brady over a 30, I think Tyrod's like 30 now. It would just be tough. I mean, the star power that goes on with Brady, even though it's said in the chat, Jay Oaks, he's the most hated player in the NFL by a lot of people. And if he goes there, he'll still generate fan, intrigue. But he's gonna be 42. If this year didn't tell you what the guy's limitations are, I mean, you had a historic making defense in New England, and you still couldn't make it to at least the championship game. So I don't know if it has passed him by. I was always wondering who would outlast who longer as far as Belichick and Brady. But I always said that if Brady retired, Belichick would still coach. If Belichick retired, Brady would retire with him because that debate would still rage on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who's better? But
I think it has to. You look at what has happened without Brady, with the Garoppolo and the Brissett players playing well. You got Matt Castle playing well the 1 year. So there's evidence to be had for Belichick being the ringleader and being the key cog. But that being said, Tom Brady's on the field. He's taking less money than any other quarterback in the history of the league has ever taken. So I think that combination, the GM, the quarterback, the whole situation, I think all works together. I don't think it's just one specific piece.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of the Patriots guys are sprinkled out around everywhere. You know what I mean? You got Patricia in Detroit. You got Vrabel in Tennessee. You have Flores down in Miami. You have O'Brien down in Houston. You have all these guys like sprinkled all over the place. And Brady, too, I just put it in the chat. The Patriots since 2001 are 14-6 when Brady in meaningful games. I'm not just saying like the last game of the season they play him for a half and they sit him and they lose. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about meaningful games. They're 14-6 when Brady doesn't play.
Yeah. So it's like how how good is that team without Brady? They're 14-6. It's like, come on. I don't know. I think we all just want to see Brady out of New England, especially. It would make me feel a little bit better because I know Robert Kraft loves Tom Brady like his son. And if Tom Brady loves Kraft like his son, he'd be making out with Kraft. But I do think that Kraft is going to do whatever he can to keep Tom Brady in the New England Patriots uniform. And I think, I don't know, I think it's probably the higher percentage is probably with him staying in New England. But I think he wants to verse Belichick. I really do. So I'm going to say he goes to the Raiders, and the Raiders trade Carr for something. I don't know who you get. Maybe they trade him to Carolina or the Bears or something. Although I guess apparently Derek Carr is he had a terrible record in cold weather games. So Chicago probably not very good.
Well, they got Mitchie Biscuits there. You know what I mean? So
let's just say he sucks. He's going to get out. Did you hear the rumor that they're trying to trade up to number 2 and looking to move Khalil Mack, like, at the same time? It's a rumor. I don't know if it's like there's any validity
to get Chase Young.
I don't know if it's Chase Young or if it's to get a quarterback. Who knows what they do when they get up
That's
there.
so weird. If another Josh Rosen case fires up, that's going to be absolutely insane. I'm just looking at, just going back real quick, Derek Carr's numbers. They're going to take about 7.9 in dead money.
Yep.
They saved 13.6, and looking at the Raiders and how their numbers are stacking up right now, they got about $54 million under the cap with 55 players under contract. So I don't know if that's the direction they want to go in. I'm pretty sure Gruden is pretty stern in what he wants, but Gruden doesn't run the same system that Brady's been accustomed to for 19 years. So I don't. Carr's going to be 30, Brady's going to be 42. I don't know if that's what's wrong. I think Mike Mayock is what's wrong in Las Vegas.
Let's move on to another quarterback. We've talked about Tom Brady enough. I want to get this guy out of here.
Yeah, I'm sure
what do you think about Phillip Rivers? I think he's going to the Colts. He moved to Florida. I originally thought Tampa Bay. The Colts have a crap ton of money. And apparently he knows the offensive coordinator from the Colts. He's worked with him in the past. So I didn't realize that was the connection. I was like, all right, well, now he's got a great offensive line. He's got T.Y. Hilton. He's got, a zillion other dollars to go out and spend on whoever they want. If they want to go out and get some defensive players or maybe some more playmakers or something like that, they can do that while also adding Phillip Rivers.
Well, the thing that we're living through, Ryan, is the fact is when you have a rookie quarterback that's on his rookie deal before you got to pay him millions of dollars, is that you could pay for all these ancillary players. Sure. They still have Jacoby Brissett. And he's going to cost about $12.5 million in dead money. I actually one of the few guys that like Jacoby Brissett. However, I love Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis. I think that would be a great spot for him. He would, like you said, he would reinvigorate T.Y. Hilton's career. He would do a bunch of things there. They would be able to spend a bunch of. They got so much money for 2 years now. They haven't really spent anything. They could spend a bunch of money. I just know that Phillip Rivers would love to play, behind Quentin Nelson, because that guy's an absolute beast.
He's an animal.
They can address so much stuff with Rivers, and in a dome, all that other stuff, and just to let you know. I don't know how PC is your channel, right?
Go for it. You could do whatever. It's fine. I do what I want. Someone
said that Rivers is going to be leaving LA, and it was the first time he's ever pulled out in 16 years.
It's so true. The dude can field his own football team. He's got like 12 kids. It's insane.
Him and Antonio Cromartie.
Oh yeah, so you get these. I'm pretty sure they have the entire rights to the next version of the XXXFL. It's they have so many goddamn kids. They're gonna start all the teams. I had a poll up. I had a poll up on my channel the other day about what position I should attack in free agency as far as like my next breakdown video, and I had edge, running back, safety, tight end, and then reverse cowgirl. And of course, edge wound up getting 47% of the vote. Reverse cowgirl got 45% of the vote, and I was dying. I was like, oh my god! I was like, this is ridiculous. I figured as much, but
that's phenomenal. But I will say this though, Ryan, if you talk about Rivers to the Colts is amazing. I think it'd be a great. Reich would know what to do with him. Everything going on there. Sure. If you want to pair Phillip Rivers with Bruce Arians in Tampa.
Yep.
You see what he does with aging quarterbacks, with Carson Palmer and everything they did in Arizona. I would just I just want to see it. It's like one of those things, like if it doesn't happen, I just want to see it. Yeah. But I mean, we got in the chat coming in, Matthew Grainer, he says, "Are we going to bring in a new OC this year? Loggins was trash." So I want to see what's your take on that before we get back to the topic.
I don't think we're going to bring in a new OC. I think they're going to run with what we got right now. Maybe at some point we run into an issue where the offense is totally sputtering out in the beginning of the season, and we have to make a change because they're not going to fire Gase at the beginning of the season. They've never fired a coach mid-season, so I don't see it happening this year. So Gase will be our coach through the duration of the year. But if they need a scapegoat, I could see them canning an offensive coordinator and then, I don't know, figuring out. I don't know whether Gase takes that over or if it's someone else they bring in. I thought Gase was the one making the calls anyway. Victor Montez says the same thing. Adam Gase was calling the plays. So I think Adam Gase is still. Logan.
I think he was. And the weird I put it in the chat. The running backs coach, I think, still there is Jim Bob Cooter.
Oh, yeah.
Mean, when he was in charge in Detroit with Matthew Stafford enjoyed like 3 of the best years of his career.
Yeah.
So if you want a guy that works with a quarterback that has a proven record, I love Jim Bob. I love me some Jim Bob Cooter, man.
So we were talking the other day about how what receivers the Jets could potentially wind up with. And if you have Jim Bob Cooter as your offensive coordinator, if that were to be the case, I think Jamison Crowder becomes immensely more valuable, just like Golden Tate was out in Detroit. And then
100%.
I would also
100%.
say we've been talking about some free agent options for the Jets in terms of wide receiver because we're probably going to end up losing Robby. And I think you could reach out and get Emmanuel Sanders from the 49ers. I think he's going to be a free agent. I think he might want to link up with Adam Gase. There were rumors that the Jets wanted to trade for him last year, but we didn't want to give up the amount that was needed to get him from the Broncos. I think he would be a good way to keep continuity with Sam without actually having continuity with a receiver. Because obviously Quincy Enunwa's got a lot of injuries. He's probably never going to play again, and Robbie Anderson could obviously be gone.
Well, a thing too, Ryan. I'm sorry, I mean,
no, go on.
If you talk about, we always talk about here in Buffalo is that the fact that we can't get free agent talent because it's Buffalo.
Yes,
and we have to hear that all the time. Being a Jet fan, and how much is the draw, do you think, for players to go to New York City under the bright lights? A lot of scrutiny if you mess up. I know how that happens.
Sure.
That's one. Two is this: AJ Green or Devin Funchess? Because I think Funchess fills that role of Enunwa. So if you happen to lose him.
So I have my own thoughts on the wide receiver position. I think we should get into the wide receivers a little bit later. Because we were starting on the quarterback. So as far as free agency goes, I will say that it's tough for the Jets to attract talent. One, because we are a bad franchise right now. And two, because that media is absolutely ruthless. Now, we are lucky that the Jets play in New Jersey. There is a lot of really nice developments and towns in Jersey. So you're not going onto Long Island. You're not going into the city. You're avoiding the hustle and bustle for the most part. Florham Park's really nice. I know Quinn and Leonard Williams live sort of around the corner from me at some point. Now he can stay in the same house because he's with the Giants, and hopefully he gets re-signed so the Jets get an extra pick rather than a 5th round pick. They get a 4th round pick for him, so that'd be kind of nice. But anyway, quarterback wise, Cam Newton, next guy. Where do you think Cam Newton winds up? Do you think he stays? Do you think he gets cut? Do you think he gets traded?
As far as Cam Newton goes, the Panthers would save a ton of money just by cutting him.
Yeah, $19 million.
I don't know if there are any suitors for his services. He's a talented quarterback. He's one of those guys that just needs a guy to believe in him, I believe. But you talk about connections in the NFL, they go around all the time. Rivera would probably be one of the guys that would want him, but he has now a guy on his rookie deal with Dwayne Haskins, and he also has a $20 million bomb to deal with in Alex Smith.
It's crushing.
I don't know what Daniel Snyder thinks sometimes. I mean, the guy's absolutely insane. But there would be a market for Cam Newton somewhere in the NFL, not at the $19 million range. But then again, which is weird because I never compared these two guys before. But you talk about a quarterback market with Andy Dalton versus Cam Newton. I mean, they bring a completely different skill set to your team.
Joe Flacco could be out there too.
Yeah, but he's Frankenstein. At least
he's older.
Dalton
he's 35.
Dalton can move. Yeah, but if you look at those guys, do either of those guys right now in their career want to hit the backup quarterback market? I don't think that's how it is. And you know what? If they go to some place, Dalton a little bit less than Newton as far as a personality goes, because Dalton's never won a playoff game and Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl a few years ago. So
sure,
the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy in town. So I don't know if either of those guys want to hit the backup quarterback market, or they're not going to get paid 17 or 19 million wherever they want to go right now. So More likelihood, I think he's cut. I think the Panthers are going to throw a ton of picks to try to trade up. I mean, I've been reading about it a lot with a bunch of different guys. I think that's probably what's going to happen, because you even mentioned it to me before the show started.
Mm-hmm.
All those teams in the front, they need quarterbacks.
They could trade up.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's something I've been trying to talk about too, with all the quarterbacks that are hitting free agency. You have Brady, Bridgewater, Rivers, Tannehill, Mariota, Winston. I think Cam's best shot would be going to the Buccaneers, going against the Panthers. That little bit of vengeance. He has Mike Evans with him. He's got Bruce Arians down in Tampa Bay. I think Tampa's a little too far out to really go out and get a quarterback, but it's going to be significantly cheaper than re-signing Winston. I think that would be a good potential revival there. Now, maybe there's some other possible situations. I agree with you. I think it's very hard to see Cam Newton in a backup role. Andy Dalton, I think if he were to accept a backup role, would stay in Cincinnati. I don't know if he would go elsewhere, like uproot his family just to take a backup role.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is cemented as the starter for next year, at least for the veteran presence in Miami.
He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He is the absolute amazing Patriot killer. Between the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins, it is absolutely fascinating to watch this guy play. I loved watching the beard go. Like, as much as it killed me when we had him, because it was like, I know there's no hope. It's just like treading water till we can get a pick for a quarterback. But what other teams are around the league? I think there's going to be too much talent in the quarterback market to actually. There's not going to be enough starting positions. I think there's, when you look at teams like the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Panthers, they could all go with rookie quarterbacks that have a higher upside than a Dalton, than a Cam Newton, than some of those guys that would be on higher end contracts. So what's the value? Do the quarterback contracts start coming back down? The NFL for a long time now has been trying to make the quarterback position easier, safer, so that way you can have steady quarterback play and teams can be in the league and in the season, late into the season. So you're in the hunt. Yeah. Now, if they have gotten to the point, and we talked about this when Chip Kelly originally took over the Eagles, there was the thought that he could take, I think it was Dequise Denard, or no, who's the backup quarterback from Oregon? I think it was him. There was a fast quarterback that they thought maybe they would run a 2 quarterback system, and they would eliminate the need to have a $20 million quarterback. You would just have 2 guys that are fast and good enough to hit, look, because all the rules, I don't remember if it was Oregon. I think it was. It could have been Michigan. But there was one point where they thought...
Dennis Dixon?
That sounds right. I think it was a D. But it sounds like they would... Are we getting to a point where the quarterback is not as valuable if you don't have that elite level guy? Like, if you have a top 10 guy, sign him and lock him up. But if you're talking like 11 through 32, maybe there's not too much of a difference. Like, is it worth crippling the rest of your salary cap for some of these kind of players?
I'll say this real quick. In the chat, Andrew Puglisi, he said, please kill the background music. It's hard to hear you guys. Ooh. So I don't know if that was still playing.
Well, bam. Yep. Sorry.
Okay. That's number one. Number two, going on to your question, we hear this in Buffalo quite a bit because in 2017, the Buffalo Bills traded back and the Kansas City Chiefs took that pick with Mahomes.
Sure.
And then we also passed on Watson that year. So then you look at the next year, everyone keeps talking about, we passed on Jackson as well.
Yeah.
Offense that Greg Roman runs in Baltimore is very similar to what he ran in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick. Now, that does not deserve a very big shelf life as far as your quarterback goes, because you can't have your quarterback running for 1,200 yards every year and expect him. There's going to be one hit. You put him in danger. But here's the thing. It was the 32nd pick. They don't care. They have the 5th-year option. If it works out, if it doesn't, turn and burn.
Sure.
Bring another guy in. Unless it's a Mahomes or a Watson or one of these guys, these young and up-and-comers that is a franchise guy, play that offense is all you want. Play it. Sure. We're going to turn and burn. We're going to get a younger version of you. And you know what? We're always going to have our quarterback on the rookie deal. So we're able to spend money in a bunch of other places. So as far as that goes, that may be a new process that goes on. You start seeing all these NFL coaches go to college coaches come to the NFL. The blending of it is happening so rapidly that it could just be one system that goes to both leagues. But you got the XFL now coming in, which is interesting. And I know we're not going to talk about that right now, but it's interesting to see what the dynamic of that will play. I don't think it'll affect the NFL but it's such an interesting topic to talk about.
Oh,
I swear to
I
God.
really enjoy the XFL, and I didn't get to watch as many of the games as I would have liked. I watched a little bit of the Guardians game, and we got smoked, so I didn't get to watch as much as I would have enjoyed watching. Guys, if you're just tuning in, there's a link down in the description for the Jets Discord. Jump into that. I have a question of the day. The Jets hold the record for the longest punt in NFL history. Go to the Jets Discord. Last time we did it, you guys could have gave the answer at me on Instagram or Twitter. We're going to avoid that. We're not doing Instagram or Twitter. I'm going to push all you guys to the Discord tonight. Go to the Discord. There's a section called Jets Talk. Go down to the poll, and there's a question. It's a multiple choice question. Those of you that get it right will be in the raffle to win a shirt at the end of the live stream. I'll announce that. I'll announce the winner. What is the longest punt in NFL history? A Jets player owns it. What is that distance? It's sad.
I love that question.
It's great. I've been trying to do one each week because then it kind of gets people a little more engaged. Have the opportunity to win something. You could be a hat, like one of these cool little Discord hats. Check out the little guy. Well, bam!
I love the Discord. That is so creative, dude.
Pretty nice.
I love that.
I was having fun with it. Oh man. Okay. So what other quarterbacks were we talking about? There's Tannehill. I think we could probably agree the Titans are probably going to bring him back. I would think.
I'm not sure if he resurrected his career, but he's not going to cost as much, and that's one of the things that is absolutely that's great about the quarterbacks that are free agents now. He's under the radar. And you're going to talk about these guys.
Sure.
If you talk about Dalton getting cut, if you talk about Newton getting cut, you talk about Rivers, you talk about Brady, you talk about all these other guys that are free agents, and then he just slides under the radar. They could say, "Hey, you're not this guy. So we're not going to pay you like that guy." But the first guy always sets the market. So the first quarterback, free agent quarterback that gets signed, will set the market eventually for some of these guys. Eli retiring, he's off the table. Everybody doesn't know what's going on with Big Ben. Yeah, he's projected to be in Pittsburgh. Who knows what happens there? I mean, I think Duck Hodges pretty much sealed the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be there. But it's such an interesting topic to talk about as far as Tannehill goes, because he's not garbage. You looked at what he did with Adam Gase. He had some really good seasons, just didn't win a lot of games down in Miami, and it wasn't his fault. It's like the defense there kind of let him down a little bit. So it's so fun to see that and watch how that manifests. Do I think Ryan Tannehill could be a starter in the NFL? He could, but he's not my first choice.
Could he be a starter for another team outside of Tennessee? Like, do you think Tennessee? I think Tennessee brings him back, even if they give him the transition tag or something. It's the average of the top 10 of the quarterbacks at his position. I could definitely see that as a potential.
Could he go to the Broncos?
He could go to.
Are they set on Drew Lock? You think?
I don't know if they're set on Drew Lock. I think there's a few opportunities for him, and I don't know. It depends on the cold weather. Like, I don't think Trubisky's job is safe in Chicago. I think there's the possibility of him getting cut. What is he? He's in year 4 now, so I think he has to get paid for this year. So I think he'll probably stay on the team. I don't know how much he's actually cost against the cap. He's probably like $7 million, being a number 2 pick, I think.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say?
I said I think he was the number 2 overall pick.
Tannehill?
No, Trubisky. I think he's.
Trubisky. San Francisco traded with Chicago to do that.
They went from 3 to 2.
San Francisco fleeced them. Chicago.
It was like an extra second-round pick or third-round pick or something like that to go up one
something
slot.
Like that. It was to get Trubisky. And Trubisky, it's funny. Trubisky was taken before Mahomes and Watson. Everyone likes to talk about that. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see how much that manifested. And people are even talking about, as long as we're talking about quarterbacks, they're talking about Josh Rosen moving, like from Miami.
Why not? I mean, he doesn't stand a chance. He's not playing in front of Fitzpatrick, and he's not gonna play in place of whatever rookie they take. He's gonna be a trade chip. So does Flores hook up Belichick with Rosen, and then we have Rosen, Allen, Darnold, and then maybe Tua as the young quarterbacks in the AFC East?
Oh my God, that would be so beautiful.
It'd be so
everyone
wacky.
Came to the East.
I would like it. I'd be okay with it. I think that's interesting.
It would be funny. It'd be funny to watch. But I mean, it's talking about. I think someone brought it up in the chat. I just want to go because since we're talking about quarterbacks, someone said,
Sure.
"Sorry, I don't know." Oh yeah, Blunted Vegas. He said, "So if we don't make the playoffs this year, is Sam a bust?"
I can't say that. No, absolutely not. Because I don't think the Jets are going to have enough time to rebuild this offensive line. Realistically, in free agency, there's not a ton of great offensive linemen. I think the Jets are going to get one of them. I think we'll get one of the offensive linemen. I want Glasgow personally. He plays center and guard. I think he could fill 2 potential roles in the worst case scenario for the Jets. Then maybe you go out and you get who's the right tackle from the Packers?
Balaga?
Balaga. You get Balaga over there. So you have him and Edoga compete on the right side of that line. Like, as much as I would love Conklin, I would love Thuney. Thuney's my number one choice. If I get Thuney, that's my top choice there. But if I get Glasgow, then I throw silly money at Yannick Ngakoue. Like, I want $20 million. I don't care. Do you not
Those
like him?
Them.
Oh, no way.
Those are good.
Dude, I want him so bad. As far as pass rushers go, he's number one on my list. There's a lot of really good pass rushers, actually. If the Jets can come away with an offensive lineman, a pass rusher, like Emmanuel Sanders, and I don't know. If you can come away with a few pieces, just a few, just to fill like some roles, that would be absolutely incredible for me.
It's tough because here's the deal. Now, I Ryan, I watch your stuff. I enjoy the Jets stuff that you do. The Jets are at the 11th pick. That's usually, if you guys are up and up on the salary cap and everything that goes on, if you're drafted 1 through 10, then your 5th-year option is the average of the 1 through 10 of your position.
Yep.
Okay. If you're drafted 11 through 32, your 5th-year option is 3 through 25 at your position.
Oh, yeah.
Is the average.
That's huge.
Jets hold the 11th pick, which is the best pick outside of the top 10 to have as far as financially.
Sure.
The 10th pick, as Paul and I have referenced many times, is like the fat chick pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants the 10th
It's
pick.
like, oh.
That's being there. I only said it to say this. If they traded out, because you're talking about getting bodies. Listen, edge rushers are made every year. Edge rushers always come out. They're always amazing. Ngakoue, you know what? I love that guy too. But if you didn't have to spend that money, if you had to go into the season with a rookie guy that's just as talented, just as hungry, just as eager to prove what he needs, and not spend $20 million, you can allocate that $20 million somewhere else.
Sure.
If the Jets traded out, I'll even throw this to the Passengers too.
Oh, yeah.
If they traded out the 11th pick and were able to pick up like another first rounder next year and then another second or third rounder.
Sure.
Would that upset you, or would you be happy with that move?
So I would be okay with the Jets trading out of our pick. I would have no problem moving down a few picks if there's a team that wants to leapfrog the Raiders. Like maybe the Eagles are trying to come up and they want to give up some players. Like if you want to give us maybe Alshon Jeffrey and your first round pick or something like that to come up and get him. Now I don't know where they're sitting draft wise because I think they were in the 20s, but that's something that I would possibly consider. Then maybe you take, that's only if you have addressed offensive line, because I think the Jets are going to have to go offensive line at 11. I don't think they trade out unless something crazy happens. I think they're going to try and go for a left tackle. I'm not sold on Jamal Adams being a Jet long term. I'm okay. I want him long term. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure Douglas is 110% sold on him yet. Like I think Douglas could move him. If you get offered a first, a third, and maybe a second next year, you pull the trigger. I don't care. Like I love Jamal, but 3 extra players and not paying a safety $16 million a year, that's huge.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, just looking at it right now, the Dolphins hold the 18th and 26th pick.
The Dolphins?
And the Raiders have the 19th pick.
Okay.
As well as the 12th. So, I mean, to move up one, I don't think the Raiders would do it. Number two, the guy, because you always look at those guys that have multiple first-round picks.
Sure.
If they want to try to leapfrog somebody. The Dolphins are already in front of, they're in front of the Jets once. They're already in front of the Bills and the Patriots 3 times.
Yeah,
so it's not like they have to leapfrog anybody. So it's kind of, this draft is kind of working counterproductive to doing that.
Sure.
In that respect, here's the craziest part. I love some Jamal Adams. I think he's one of the premier safeties in the league, and 16 is like a steal for him. I really think he is. The guy could be a Sam linebacker if he wanted to. The guy's amazing.
He could play everything. The fact that he's such a Swiss Army knife on that defense, he can line up in the slot. He can line up outside as a corner, strong safety, free safety, edge rusher. Like he could play all over the place. He's not like 110% great at every spot. Like I think he's better at the line of scrimmage. If you can have, Marcus May is going into the last year of his contract. I think he could potentially be a trade chip if you are extending Jamal long term.
Yeah.
there's a lot you could really do with that. You can't really go wrong either way. Guys, down below in the description is a link to the Jets Discord. Go down in the description if you want a chance to win one of the shirts or hats or something from the merchandise in the shop. I'm going to raffle off a shirt to one of the winners. You guys have to go down to the Jets Discord. The question of the day is, the Jets own the longest punt in NFL history. What distance is that punt? Go to the Jets Discord. You have to answer it on the Jets Discord. You can't Instagram or Twitter direct message me this time.
So much social media.
I see so much social media. I'm trying. You got to go down into the Discord because there's a lot of fun going on over there. And then I get the Discord guys riled up, and they're like, "Why are so many people joining right now?" And they're like, "Oh, Ryan's live streaming." And it's like, "Oh, boom, 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 boom."
Can I enter that? I want to win a shirt.
Dude, you can go in, jump in there, see if you see. I'm sure you know what the answer is. You've been around.
I gave you the year too, so
I like it. Pretty
so
solid.
Fun. Guys, we got 78 people watching. We got 24 likes. Smash that like button, because then you guys don't really know how the YouTube algorithms work. Is the fact is, if you hit a lot of likes and a lot of likes go on this, all the Jet fans that watch YouTube, this will get recommended as videos. So if you guys like Ryan's content, I enjoy Ryan's content very much. Just hit that like button so that all stuff can be shot out to everyone. So.
We got our buddy Gangrene David in the chat as well. He's going to be in on the Jets Talking panel tomorrow. You guys got to tune in for that tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Let me know if you guys are planning to watch that. That's going to be episode 2. We got O'Leary, me, Green Bean, and David all coming back Tuesday night.
O'Leary and Green, I love them all. I love all those names.
They're awesome. It's a very green crew. We have the whole idea of that Tuesday night show. It's a half hour. That's the goal. Last time we did 35 minutes, my internet dropped and we wound up getting screwed. So we didn't get to sign off like the final 2 minutes. But the idea is half-hour show, 3 different segments. You have 3 different topics that you're going to talk about. And I'm thinking about, after it airs, maybe breaking them down into clips. So there's like maybe a 10-minute clip of topic 1, a 10-minute clip of topic 2, and a 10-minute clip of topic 3, in case you didn't want to listen to the entirety of the half-hour episode. Then I think maybe you get the opportunity there. If you guys would like to see us split up the topics into those 3 things for after the fact, let me know in the chat, because it's something we've been kind of tossing around back and forth. But Mario, I want to get your thoughts. We were talking a little bit briefly about edge rushers. You guys have an edge rusher that's set to hit free agency right now.
Yes.
Shaq Lawson. You got a little guy over there.
He came in. He's blowing up our chat. So you're talking about, Shaq Lawson had a 5th-year option, and it's my 4-year-old. I apologize, guys, but he was declined a 5th-year option for the Buffalo Bills. Bills didn't want to take it for him, and then because of that, he's set to test the market, just like Jordan Phillips for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills they're all about getting value here and there. So I don't think they're going to try to sign either of those guys really long term, because they play a very rotational defensive front. So, I mean, Lawson could happen on the Jets. I mean, he could be your edge rusher, former 1st-round pick, drafted by Rex. I could be one of those guys. I don't know. I mean, I like him. I like his production. But the fact is, I have a hard time justifying the fact you're going to pay $9 million to a guy that plays 35% of the snaps. It's weird to me. You know what I mean? So.
Anthony D in the chat wants to get smacked around. He said, "Oh, Ryan, at least raffle away a black Jets replica jersey." I don't have that kind of money. I can't raffle off jerseys yet. You guys get T-shirts or hats or a mug or something, and you'll like it. If you don't like it, you go kick rocks, but still vote, because I still want to have you guys in the Discord. Guys, seriously, tune into the Discord down below. There's a link down there. Go to the poll section on the left-hand column and vote for our poll. Jets punter Steve O'Neill owns the NFL record for longest punt in football history. How long was that punt? Go over to the Jets Discord, answer that. You'll get yourself entered in to win some good merch that I'm going to give away at the end of the show. Guys, drop a like down on the video. The YouTube algorithm loves it. If you drop a like, hit a little bell icon, help us out down there. Helps the channel grow. If you want to
ding. That's what
ding,
I'm talking about.
Ding. Ah, so great. What other? So let's see. The Bills have like $100 million in salary cap space. What?
Well, they will once the new thing gets released.
Mhm.
Currently, the Buffalo Bills have. Let me see here. The Bills have. They have 82 million, and it's projected that it's going to go up 12.
Mhm.
So, Jets are sitting in a nice spot too. I think they're 49-6. So if it goes up 12, they'll be at 61, and they're allocating about 8.5 to the rookie draft class. So
It sounds like
I'm
the
sorry, I
Jets are
cut you
gonna.
off.
It sounds like the Jets are gonna be sitting around 80 million, all said and done, with cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Pending some stuff. There's some interesting things I want to get into with Avery Williamson. That's going to be a topic for tomorrow, though. We're talking Avery Williamson tomorrow on the Jets. Talking Jets with O'Leary, Green Bean, and David over there. So if you guys want to head over to
Love it.
that, there is a. I think I put the link. I don't know if I put the link down below, but there is a uh, page set up for tomorrow. So if you guys want to hit the bell, so you make sure you don't miss that, hit that little bell icon for that because that's going to be a lot of fun. I think last time we had about 120 people in the chat, so not too bad for that
Very nice.
initial first launch of that show. So as far as the money you guys have and salary cap space you have, what free agents do you have on the uh, what free agents do you have that could potentially be hitting the open market? Which ones do you think you'll retain? Which ones do you think are good to be signed elsewhere?
Well, the big talk in Buffalo is, I mean, we had to go with the low level guys. Kevin Johnson was a corner for the Buffalo Bills, former first round pick of the Texans. Buffalo has been cycling in a corner to try to play opposite of Trey White for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of tough. They may draft this with the 22nd pick. A lot of people are talking about getting an edge rusher as well to replace Shaq Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Jordan Phillips, so Harrison Phillips, who had an injury, is going to be coming back. So it's like you have a guy like that. Jaquan Johnson is a name that you know. I think he played in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He got drafted a little bit after Ja'Kai Polite. And people were talking about those. No, people were comparing the skill sets of those two guys quite a bit. So Jaquan Johnson was a guy that was like, listen, he's going to be your Sam linebacker. He's like a tweener, can play safety, can play a nickel, big nickel role for you. But as far as the free agents go, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott in Buffalo have been very, very conscious of getting value of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They have two Moneyball guys in the front office, which is one of the reasons why Jordan Phillips is actually in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was in Buffalo in the first place. So a lot of talk going on in Buffalo right now is Ngakwe, and you're going to be upset about that.
I want him so bad.
Yes,
so bad.
A lot of people do, which is going to drive up his price.
Oh yeah, I would pay him whatever he wants. I don't care what it is. He's like 25 years old. He's stupid young.
He's stupid talented too. That's the
so
craziest part about him. AJ Green has been making his way around Buffalo quite a bit, along with Carolina connections, because Brandon Beane and McDermott were. So people are talking about Greg Olsen possibly coming here. Josh Norman got cut.
Yep.
The whole Bill's Twitter blew up.
I'm sure anyone that was a former Panther is going to be a potential pickup for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it was crazy. But like AJ Green.
What about Cam Newton as a backup in Buffalo?
Oh my God, the whole place would blow up.
You'd lose your mind.
The whole place would blow up.
People would hate everything. They'd be like, "Oh my God."
It's funny to say it, but let me ask you this. Now we're flipping it back over to the passengers and you know, in the cockpit.
Sure.
Adams or Ngakwe?
Ooh, if I had to hold on to one.
If you had to pick, you only get one of those guys because the contract for one
is going to wipe out the other.
Yeah.
I'm taking.
Who are you taking?
I'd take Ngakwe. I love Jamal Adams. I absolutely love Jamal Adams. But if you're telling me I could get an elite young pass rusher, because the money's going to be similar. It's going to be he's probably going to get 20 million. Adams is probably going to get 16 million. I would take the pass rusher personally. But I think you have enough money to sign one offensive lineman, one edge rusher. I don't know if we're going to get Ngakwe. I mean, there's going to be Clowney, there's Van Noy, there's Fowler, Vinny Curry, Shaquille Barrett possibly hitting the open market from the Bucks. There's a lot of potential guys that could be hitting the open market, and I want to say there's like 13 guys that are hitting the open market that I have on my list to do. I think I'm going to release that on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure my breakdown for that. Looking at all the edge rushers, guys. I see you want to do the phone calls. I'll reiterate. We'll start the phone calls. I'll throw the number up on the screen now. I'm going to ask you guys just to rattle off your question because Mario's not going to be able to hear it. So I'm going to rattle off the question after you ask it, and then I'm going to hang up on you, and that is going to be how we do the phone calls for tonight, because I have yet to figure out a way to make Mario hear the phone calls on my end.
I gotta do the same thing. So let me know.
Okay. So that's a phone number's up on the screen if you guys do want to call. Guys, make sure you tune into the Discord channel down below. Answer our question of the day. The Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long was that punt? Go to the Jets Discord down below. It's in the description. Scroll down to poll. Answer it in there. There's a poll up. If you click on that, do that. Whoa, that is loud. All right. Let's see.
Call from.
I'm getting some feedback.
Just everyone's talking in the chat about firing Gase.
Let's see. I think I've got. Whoop! Did I pick it up?
Yeah, hello?
All right. Can you hear me? Why is the phone ringing? I'm so confused. There's another. Oh, I got an extra window pulled up. That's why I was. Okay. Sorry. Welcome to the cockpit. What's your name, dude?
Michael,
Where are you calling from?
New York.
I love it. Whereabouts in New York? You calling from the city? Long Island? Upstate?
I'm about 40 minutes south from the city.
Oh, all right. So you're in the Orange County-ish region, maybe?
Yeah, close to there.
Very cool. What's your question?
I was wondering, because Joe Thuney is probably my, priority among the offensive linemen for free agency.
Sure.
And I was wondering, do you think there's any chance that there'll be, the Patriot effect in which a player leaves and the production falls off not being in Belichick's system?
I love it, Mike. Great question. I'm going to answer that right now. So, Mario, Michael's asking, Joe Thuney is a very popular name for free agency. He is a Patriots guard. Is there a Patriots curse that is going to happen with Joe Thuney the same way that Solder has kind of had that happen to him and some of the other guys, Mankins sort of had that happen to him? Is Thuney fool's gold? Should we not be going after him?
2 words for you. Dante Scarnecchia.
That's
now,
the offensive line coach?
He was the offensive line coach in New England. He's probably going to be the only positional coach ever elected to the Hall of Fame for how good he's been. I mean,
I've heard he's phenomenal. I mean, obviously with the Patriots, it's been incredible.
Marshall Newhouse was in New England this year, and Marshall Newhouse came through Buffalo and was abysmal.
Well, what was it, Trent Brown? Trent Brown was he the Raiders? I think he was with the Raiders.
He went to the Raiders.
He went to the Raiders. He was somewhere before the...
He was a left tackle. He was with the San Francisco 49ers.
That's what it was. He was with the 49ers. And then played phenomenally over in New England and then gets a monster contract with the Raiders right after.
Here's the funniest part. He was a 7th-round pick. They traded him for a bucket of balls to get to New England. He was a left tackle, graded out. He's a monster. He's 6'8", 360. But then the Raiders pay him a buttload of money. They moved him to right tackle.
I don't expect the Raiders to do anything correct. It always confuses me.
Yeah, so I like to just temper my expectations. I hate seeing a guy that Belichick is willing to let go. Mm-hmm. I never like that because that means that he knows that the guy's done. Yeah. There's exceptions to every rule. I know that, but it could be. I would always temper my expectations for former Patriot retreads. You know what I mean? So
I agree. That's kind of my thought as well. I do like Thuney. I like that he's played in every game that he's ever been a part of. But we'll get to the next caller right here.
Call from
Belichick.
Oh, Belichick's on the phone. What's up, Belichick? Where are you calling from?
From Florida.
I love it. Whereabouts in Florida?
Cape Coral.
Oh, very cool, very cool. What's on your mind?
Hey, so when Brady leaves me this offseason and goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, who wins the chip first? Belichick without Brady or Brady without Belichick? Thanks.
Ooh, I like that question. So the question that we just got asked was, when Brady leaves Belichick for the Las Vegas Raiders, who wins a championship first? Is it Brady without Belichick or Belichick without Brady?
I have said, and Ryan, I hope you can back me on this, or else I'm going to make a lot of people in the cockpit very, very angry.
Go for it.
I have said the only Patriot title I will ever accept is if when Brady leaves and Belichick's there and they win another one, just to completely discount everything he's ever done.
Oh, I would love it.
I would accept
it. It would make me feel. It would make me feel fantastic. There's part of me. I hate Tom Brady with so much passion. I hate Bill Belichick too, but at least Bill Belichick was with the Jets. Like if Belichick wins without, then I could be like a miserable Jets fan. I could be like, oh man, that could have been us. If Belichick can't win without Brady, but Brady wins, then I could be like, all right, well, at least Brady would not have been on the Jets. And so there's like all different ways you could look at it. But man, I want I think Tom Brady's a little bit of a bitch, and I would really enjoy him not winning. I would love to see him lose to the Patriots next year as a Raider or as a Charger. I think the Raiders make a lot of sense for them. They're opening that new stadium. They're gonna sell a ton of jerseys. I don't know. I don't know if the Raiders are equipped to win a Super Bowl, though. That's the only thing. And I think the AFC East is far weaker and easier to get through, especially if Belichick can get one of these quarterbacks that we're talking about. What if he gets, like, I don't think he's going to go for a James Winston, but what if he gets a Tannehill? What if he gets a Mariota? Someone of that caliber.
If he gets anybody and starts winning, it's over for Brady. Number one, that's why Brady has always had the stranglehold. And what a lot of people don't know is that Belichick wanted Garoppolo. That's why he drafted him. But Kraft was too attached to Brady, so they ended up trading Garoppolo away, and gave him to Shanahan and everything. But I did a statistical breakdown. I think it was during the first six times that Brady went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In the AFC Championship game, the opposing quarterbacks he played threw 5 touchdowns in 6 games and 15 interceptions. Just a
That's
quick
absurd.
breakdown of that.
That's absurd.
So, and his running backs in those games ran for over 100, like starting running back. Now I'm not talking about combined. I'm talking about the starting running back ran for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Why do you even need to show up? Like
he's a warm body. That's what it is.
I've always came at it from the angle of football and breaking down the game itself.
Sure.
Brady is the greatest game manager of all time. He's the most accomplished quarterback. Those are the only 2 titles I will ever give Tom Brady. He's the most accomplished because he has the rings, and he's the greatest game manager. He's never had to really win a game. His comebacks, blah, blah, blah. Dude got a Super Bowl MVP when they beat the Rams. He threw for 145 yards. Come on, let's relax a little bit, okay?
Yeah, calm down. Ease it down, guys. If you're new tuning into the live stream, guys, hit the like button down below. It helps the YouTube algorithm a lot. Hit the little bell icon if you want to be super special. And then if you guys want a shot to win a shirt or a hat or a mug or something like that from the Jets Talk store, our question of the day: the Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long is that punt? Go down into the description down below, the Jets Discord, answer it in there. There's a section called polls. Head to there, answer the question, and get yourself entered to win. I think we got about 15 or 20 people that have answered it correctly. So we got 90 people in this chat. You guys have a good opportunity to win a shirt or something like that. Guys, if you don't know, I'm here with Mario from #Sports. He runs a great channel with Paul over in the Bills community. He is my number one source when I want to talk about the guys that jump through tables and Bills Mafia over there.
Oh, I've never jumped through a table. Stop that. I'm 40. I can't do that. Tom Chuck said in the chat, he goes, Mario, bro, he's not a game manager if you watch the last 20 years. Shake my head. Come on. Tom, I swear to God, I'm coming at this simply from the X's and O's of it. He does not. Listen, I'll give you a stat, Tom. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm hijacking
go for it.
Your thing. Let me give you a stat. In 44 years that Breeze, Rodgers, and Manning played, in 44 seasons, this was done like a year or 2 ago, so I understand. In 44 seasons that Breeze, Manning, and Rodgers have played, they had 10 top 10 defenses. In 18 seasons, this is, like I said, this is prior. In 18 seasons that Tom Brady has played, he has had 10 top 10 defenses. Okay? Chew on that statistic just a little bit. About 44 seasons, 10 top 10 defenses. 18 seasons, 10 top 10 defenses. You still don't think that defense wins championships in the NFL? Oh my God! What goes on with Tom Brady is that he has been carried.
All right, so
David Gangrene.
We got my buddy Gangrene David calling in right now. David, what's up, dude?
Phenomenal.
Wow, Ryan, for a second there, I thought you were trying to block me out of the line.
Nope, wasn't trying to block you. Mario is unable to hear the audio from the call-in, so I have to do call questions and then reiterate the question so that way he can answer it. So I don't know how long I'll actually keep you on, and I'm turning off the phone in between us discussing on the topic. Otherwise, I'll get a bunch of phone calls in. So what's on your mind? What are you thinking about?
So I can only drop one question?
No, you could go a little bit longer. Mario, if you want to turn the volume on your end for the chat, you can kind of tune into that and hear that. I'll try to reiterate questions if David asks something.
Well, sure. I mean, I just dropped my video on Robbie Anderson, but I think you kind of touched on it a little bit in your video. I mean, if if we're letting go of Robbie, um, who are you going to get to replace him? Like, who's your ideal target to try to replace Robbie Anderson, whether it's free agency or the draft?
So this is something that I really want to look at, and something we're definitely going to get into tomorrow on our live stream, talking Jets. So make sure you tune into that tomorrow at 9 o'clock. But Mario, one thing that David is asking right now is the Jets wide receivers, and with Robbie Anderson potentially leaving, what sort of fits make sense for the Jets in terms of the wide receiver position. And I think for continuity purposes, I would look for Demaryius Thomas. He's not going to cost you a whole lot, maybe $3 million for a year. That's what he signed this past year with the Patriots. Maybe it costs $4 or $5 million. But if you can get him, maybe you look at that. Emmanuel Sanders is someone over on the 49ers that I think is a very important piece that would bring continuity to the offense, even though the player has never played with Sam.
Yeah, I can actually see that. But
I
I'm
keep
also actually
harkening back to
looking at the
Devin
draft,
Funchess. I love the
especially in
big
the
body
second
guy
round.
that
Like
he
this
is.
receiver
And if you
class
want
is
to talk about
essentially
Robbie
stacked.
Anderson, he may go down to Tampa.
It sucks letting Robbie go, but he is replaceable.
Oh,
But I want to ask a question to our Bill fan, if he could hear me.
Sure, I'll reiterate it, and then I'm going to boot you off because it's tough to try and get him to talk and then have the phone going at the same time because then the audio is going all over the place.
No, yeah, I definitely understand that, and we're definitely going to have more of this discussion tomorrow night on the
Sure.
panel. But what are your expectations for Josh Allen now? I mean, he's coming off a year where he actually made a playoff appearance. I mean, do you expect him to continue to grow as a quarterback, where you could try to get more pieces around him?
I like it. Thank you, Green David, for calling in. So his question to you, Mario, and the hashtag Nation and the Bills Mafia that are sitting in the chat right now.
Ooh, okay.
Josh Allen has made it to the playoffs now.
Yes.
What are your expectations for him next year? What are your realistic goals that you want to see him achieve for next year? What would be a successful year 3 for Josh Allen?
Playoffs.
Playoffs or bust?
He's got to make the playoffs. So let's put it this way: the Buffalo Bills have an established defense. Now, this could be the third year they're going into it. That means two things. Number one, the communication is solid. It also means, number two, the fact is people have 32 games to figure out the weaknesses of that defense.
Yep.
And it happens quite a bit. You got Leslie Frazier there, Sean McDermott. They've been doing a great job. They've been blending their skills. Leslie Frazier and his attacking type defense, and you got Sean McDermott, who just likes to have lunch pail, hard hat guys that come to work and do whatever they do. The way the Buffalo Bills offense has been, you got Josh Allen. He comes in his first year. He wasn't supposed to start. I don't know why we had Nathan Peterman. I mean, it's the worst decision I think I've ever had in my life. Watching the Bills and Nathan Peterman. But that being said, they went out. They got 9 new starters. The only 2 starters that were the same were the left tackle Deion Dawkins and Josh Allen from the previous year. So they get 9 new starters. Continuity was a little tough. They were trying to get everything. Brian Dable didn't know if he was coming or going. Brian Dable was never an offensive coordinator for more than 2 years with one team. He's going to be going to his 3rd year now. I think the biggest word going on with Buffalo Bills right now is continuity. They're going to know things that they have. They're going to add pieces that go in. Now, there's no more excuses. After the draft and free agency happen, there's going to be no more excuses for Allen. Will there be some excuses for Darnold? Well, they're like a year behind as far as acquiring talent. No one, the view of McDermott in Buffalo is far different than the view of Gase in New York. I can just tell you that right now. I mean, that's on the surface. But everything going in place, he has the infrastructure around him that's built. If he does not make the playoffs or win 10 games, because teams have won 10 games and missed the playoffs before.
Sure.
If he does either of those things, then people are going to think that he regressed, and we have to question whether or not he's going to be the long-term answer in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a serious question. Now, I really like Josh Allen, at least from a watchability sort of standpoint. The guy seems like a down-to-earth dude. I love watching him run. I mean, I don't think he's a great passer yet. I definitely view him, I don't know how you guys view him, but I think of him very similarly to Cam Newton, which oddly enough, the whole McDermott thing. But I think, is that basically how Buffalo views him, or do they view him as a better version of Cam Newton?
Initially, when he was running all over the place last year, everyone thought that he was like, oh, McDermott, Carolina, Cam Newton. That's what it was. But when he came into this year, a lot of people, myself included, were talking about it was square peg, round hole. You have the EP system, that is meant for a not strong arm quarterback, not mobile quarterback. Look at Tom Brady. He's mastered this system in New England. Okay, I'm not going to say that he hasn't. I'm not going to ever say Tom Brady's a stupid quarterback ever. He's brilliant when it comes to X's and O's. However, that system is built for a quarterback that doesn't have a strong arm and doesn't have any legs. It's 4-yard routes. They got a 7-yard passing tree. So that being said, Josh Allen seems more of the type to be playing with Andy Reid, in a wide open system. So that is what's been going on. They've been trying to put a square peg in a round hole, and when Allen plays hero ball, that's where a lot of the mistakes in Buffalo happen. I think that's the thing. I don't think they really compare him to Newton anymore.
Okay.
In that respect, they compare him to Newton when he doesn't get penalties when he's tackled downfield. I think that's the only thing that they compare him to, because I remember Newton was complaining about that a couple of years ago. So.
Yeah, getting whacked with like a late shot or something like that.
All the time.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna open up the phone lines again. We'll take another call when you guys call in. Guys, if you have not gone into the description down below, we have the Discord channel. Log on to that if you guys want a chance to win a shirt, a mug, a hat, something from the Jets Talk store. Answer this question right under the poll section in the Jets Discord. The Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long was that punt?
Call from
Vinny.
Vinny, brother, what is up? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up? How have you been?
I'm hanging in there, Another day, another dollar. Got Mario hanging in there with me, riding co-pilot.
Okay.
What is
I
your...
got an AFC East question.
All right, AFC East question. Fire away.
Okay, with the fact that the Patriots last year were incredibly, humongously, very overrated and really couldn't beat a strong team to save their lives, and the fact that their empire is beginning to crumble, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, same as always, 10 being competitive, how competitive will the AFC East be in 2020?
I love it, Vinny. Good question. Okay, so what Vinny's asking is, with how overrated Tom Brady was last year because of how poorly he played against good teams and him having one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, how competitive is this AFC East going to be next year, either with Tom Brady in it or without Tom Brady?
Well, you're going to talk about a third-year Josh Allen, a third-year Sam Darnold, and a rookie, possibly if Fitzpatrick doesn't play.
Yep.
We've seen the record of Belichick. Not talking about Brady. I'm talking about Belichick feasting on quarterbacks that are in their first few years of playing. I don't know how tough their schedule is. I know the Bills' schedule is pretty brutal, but as far as Brady goes, you're going to have a lot of consistency at the position. You really are. With a new quarterback coming in for the Patriots, you're going to have some things that you're not really ready for. I mean, I think this year the mystique of the Patriots kind of dulled a little bit. The fact that they came into the season as defending Super Bowl champions. Everyone has the aura of the Patriots, and I think that aura is dying very quickly. So as far as that goes, whoever can last the longest in this division once Brady is eventually gone will be the ones that will be competing for a wild card and or divisional playoff every year. But I mean, honestly, God's honest truth, who the heck is beating Mahomes if him and Reed are together?
To Mahomes and Reed, and also Lamar Jackson. You got to figure out a way to stop Lamar. Those are the two most dominant teams in the AFC right now.
They're so good.
It's going to be
so good.
It's going to be real tough. The nice thing is that if Brady's out of the AFC East, if we can somehow level it out where the Bills and the Jets are now vying for that top spot. I mean, obviously Belichick's got to be there because until we can knock him out, they got to be part of the conversation. But if you can potentially, we've had 2 division winners, I think, in the AFC East since Brady has taken over outside of the Patriots. I think it was the Jets in 2003 and the Dolphins in 2009 or 8, I think, when they had Pennington. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the Patriots have won every other time outside of that. So we need a Bills, Dolphins, or Jets division winner. I don't care who it is. I want the Jets, but I just want it to not anyone but the Patriots. I think all us AFC East YouTubers are all on the same frequency here.
Yeah, I think everyone's about ready for that to happen. I think people are done with the Patriots here and there, and you know what though, that's what happens. I mean, when you were sitting there, Ryan, and then they drafted Sam Darnold. I know you were sitting there and saying, "Oh, this is great. Next 15 years, I know you have your franchise quarterback. You know what?
Yep.
But if he went the path of Brady
Yep.
and was able to sustain excellence for, let's say, a decade, people would hate the Jets too.
I would love it. That's see, we see the hate as New Yorkers because a lot of us are Yankee fans. The Yankee fans have been dominant in that division for the last 20 years or whatever it is. So we've been the evil empire there. So we understand, the Boston New York rivalry with the Patriots being the evil empire for football,
yes,
and then the Yankees Boston Red Sox, kind of going back and forth the last few years. So it's very interesting, I think, from a fan perspective when you bounce back and forth. I want anyone but the Patriots. That's really all I'm pushing for at this point.
I think a lot of people are. But that's the point I was getting at was the fact that once you win, nobody likes you when you win.
Yeah.
And the surrounding controversies that go on with the Patriots as far as all of their gates, it's tough. It's really tough to see that. And you know what though? Here's the craziest part.
Mm-hmm.
I get in arguments with Patriots fans almost on a daily basis. Not New England Patriots fans.
Sure.
Buffalo Patriots fans.
Well,
There's guys that are 26 years old that grew up 10 minutes outside the stadium. They like the Patriots. I'm like, excuse me?
They've just been successful. That's what it is.
I'll get in arguments with them, and I'll say, listen, you know what? I'm going to feel real bad for you very soon because you're at that age where you've only known winning.
I can't wait to break you down.
When they don't, yeah.
I just want you to cry. Curl up in a corner and cry.
You're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble very, very soon because it's going to come to an end very, very soon.
I love it. I opened up the phone lines again, so if you guys call in, we'll take another one. Guys, question of the day. Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long is that punt? Go to the Discord channel in the description of this video to vote on that. Winner is going to get a choice of their shirt from the Discord store or from the Jets Talk store. So, by all means,
Call from
tune in.
William,
what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
how you doing, man? So I wanted to go back to the Brady thing. I have a quick question about Belichick and Brady, okay?
Sure, fire away.
So Brady, in Brady in college was named the comeback kid. He's been doing it forever. Now the other guy and the other broadcast, I'm sorry, I'm kind of having a brain fart about it, but
that's all right.
He said that Brady kind of fell into the system and it was perfect for him, but Drew Bledsoe, he took over Drew Bledsoe, who had a big arm, and the system was made for Drew Bledsoe, who actually made his whole career throwing the ball deep. And then Brady came into a system after just 1 year and mastered it. So the question is, how many years, because Brady only has 2 more years left, Belichick can have 10 more years.
Okay.
How many years would you say, after Brady retires, how long does Belichick have to win a Super Bowl to kind of say, to separate himself from Brady? Because we can't give him 10 years or 15 years and then say, after he wins, and go, oh, yeah, he's better than Brady. He didn't need Brady. I mean, how many years would you give Belichick after Brady retires, let's say?
I like that. That's a good question. Thank you for the call. All right, so what that caller was just asking was how many years would it be after Brady? Does Belichick get that buffer of like, oh, okay, it wasn't Brady? Like, if Belichick coaches for another 10 years, it's hard to say like, okay, if he wins a championship in 10 years, that it wasn't all because of Brady. It could have been a completely different team now. And on top of it, he was bringing up the idea of the system that Brady fell into that was perfect for him. That system was developed for Drew Bledsoe initially. And he's saying that Brady mastered it really quickly. Now, I'm not so sure he did master it so quickly. I think it took him a few years because he rode that defense pretty hard at the beginning stages of his dynasty run. So yes. I'll kind of say that. But what the question I want to get to is how long after Brady leaves does Belichick sort of have that buffer? Like, does he need to win a Super Bowl or can he get to the championship game like consistently? Like, what sets Belichick apart from Brady once Brady leaves?
Well, I mean, amidst all the cheating and all the scandals that have been going on in New England, I still think Belichick is one of the greatest coaches. And he belongs on Rushmore as far as coaches go.
Absolutely.
And everyone that is a Patriots fan sometimes wants to say, okay, well, what happened in Cleveland? Well, he brought the Cleveland to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
The last meaningful playoff game that they had was when Belichick was the coach there. And he had a guy called Nick Saban in his defensive room. So, I mean, as far as that goes, Belichick's in his 60s, so it's going to be kind of tough to kind of gauge that. If he makes the playoffs every year, if he coaches like for 6 years afterward, if he makes the playoffs every year that Brady's not there, and doesn't win one, well, that's going to be the mark. Well, he didn't win anything without Brady. He made it to the playoffs. If he goes to the championship game, they're going to be like, "Whoa,
it was close."
Questioning this, yeah, it was close. If he goes and wins a Super Bowl, that's the clincher for me. If he wins a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, that is the and it won't take. Brady's not going to care. He's still going to be a multimillionaire, married to a supermodel, and he's going to be kissing his kids and doing all this other stuff that he does. He's going to do all that stuff. But there's going to be that question that comes around because that's is it Brady or Belichick? Brady or Belichick?
Sure.
Right now, because Belichick never won anything before, which is kind of crazy because if you think about all the teams, all the teams, we talk about Bill Walsh and Joe Montana. Walsh has 3, Montana has 4. Okay. You start talking about Manning. Manning brought Jim Caldwell to the dance. You know what I mean? He brought 2 different teams to the dance and won with 2 different teams. You won a Super Bowl with 2 different franchises. That's insane. True, the defense helped him out the second one. I'm just saying this. Belichick has 8 rings.
So
Brady
what about
has 6?
What do you think about this? Now, is there any validity to this? Belichick was with the Browns till what, 96, I think, 95, somewhere in there. And when he left and the Cleveland Browns left Cleveland, they went to Baltimore. Baltimore would wind up winning the Super Bowl in 2000 with a roster that was in part put together by Bill Belichick.
Did you watch the Top 100 on NFL Network?
I did not, no. Did they bring that
up?
up?
Do yourself a favor. At 10 o'clock when you end tonight, just go through all of them because the pick that was procured by Bill Belichick when they were still in Cleveland, then they moved to Baltimore, he used on Ray Lewis.
Dude, that's ridiculous. It's like
you're trying to tell me, because he would spend a lot of time with Ozzie Newsome, and Ozzie Newsome ended up running the draft after that. Everything that Belichick learned from Parcells that carried over, he ended up using, and that they say a lot of people say there's a lot of like myths or like what was it, ghost stories or whatever. They say that Belichick laid the foundation for Baltimore to win it in 2000, but a lot of that stuff holds some water in the fact that Bill Belichick was on his way. If the Cleveland Browns didn't move, I really think the Cleveland Browns, he had Vinny Testaverde as his quarterback. I mean, can we just stop right there?
I love me some Vinny Testaverde. You shut your mouth. Vinny Testaverde is a goddamn treasure.
Listen. I know Vinny Testaverde has thrown like 300 touchdowns in his career
and like 500 interceptions.
Of them are to different. No, 285 of them are to different receivers because he's played for 16 franchises.
Oh, it's insane.
The point is this. I mean, you want to talk about the horses that he had, all right, all this other stuff, but he knows how to win. The guy knows how to win. He knows how to scout talent. He knows how to get talent that works within his system. Belichick, for the life of him, would never have a first-round pick again. If you decide to give him 2 3s,
he would take 4s. He just wants bodies. He just wants warm bodies.
In camp. The dude puts a camp at the 3-cone drill at the combine. He's like, if you can win the 3-cone drill, I'm going to draft you.
It's ridiculous. Guys, I'll open up the phone lines again. We'll take another question. If you have not tuned in to Hashtag Sports, make sure you sub them up. Hashtag Sports, they talk about Bills Mafia and Bills questions all the time. Mario and Paul are over there doing a great job. They are my go-to guys when it comes to Buffalo Bills related topics and Jets questions in terms of all that good stuff.
From
Shane. We got Shane on the lines right now. Welcome to the cockpit. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. I have a real question for you.
Sure, fire away.
So, assuming that we release Bellamy and we won't re-sign Robby Anderson because they've been talking about that.
Yep.
If we get Perryman in free agency and we get 2 receivers in the draft, personally, I think we get Gandy Golden and
I like him.
Somebody else and Ayuk or Yuki or whatever his name is. Who would you or how would you build the new core of receivers?
Ooh, I like it. Good question. Okay, so he's saying, assuming we cut Bellamy, who is wide receiver number 5 or whatever on the Jets right now, Robby Anderson is likely gone, and then you have Quincy Enunwa hurt and probably never playing again. If the Jets were to sign Brashad Perriman, the receiver from the Bucs, who I really like as a replacement for Robby Anderson, he is 25 pounds heavier. He's just an inch shorter, so he's way more muscular than Robby Anderson. He runs a 4.4 in a tenth of a second faster than Robby Anderson. And he hasn't really put together a great season. His best season was this past year under like with Winston and Mike Evans. So there's the potential to maybe get him for, say, a 1-year, $10 million deal or something like that, some kind of prove-it deal. I don't know. I mean, maybe he gets a little bit more or something like that. But I think Perriman is a very interesting option for the Jets. I think when you look towards the draft, I love CeeDee Lamb. I'm a very big CeeDee Lamb guy. But I will not take CeeDee Lamb if we do not fix our offensive line. So I have the gut feeling that we're going to have to take a left tackle at 11. That being said, the caller,
Not hateful, man.
The caller brought up Antonio Gandy Golden, the receiver from Liberty. He is absolutely massive. I don't know if you've looked at him yet, Mario, but he is a freak of nature. He is definitely cool, but he's playing in a conference that doesn't necessarily pump out top wide receivers, and the level of competition is always going to be the knock against him. I'm curious to see what he winds up doing in the combine and what winds up happening with him. Because I've heard rumors of him going in the second round. I've heard rumors of him going in like the fourth or fifth round. Like it's sort of all over the map with this guy. So I can't really hone in on a specific, round for him. But I really like him. I would love to get him. I don't know if I want the Jets to take 2 wide receivers in the draft. I would prefer us to use one of our higher picks on a receiver, probably the second or third round pick on a receiver, and then probably bring in a free agent one. So Perriman is one that I'm looking at, or Emmanuel Sanders would be the 2 in free agency that I really want. Is there a receiver that you've seen in the draft or in free agency that you think might be a good option for the Jets?
I keep harkening back that if you want a big body guy that has some experience in the NFL, Funchess is one of those guys. I mean, he's played in a very exclusive system. If you got enough money, if you wanted to go get both of those guys, and Gandy Golden is a guy that you're going to have to risk a high pick on. So he's a guy that you can maybe snag in the third or fourth round. I really do see the Jets going with their, like I said, not hateful. You take an offensive tackle with your first round pick, and then you go to the defense, the second and third pick. All right, show that you want your defense to do something.
I think the Jets fans would revolt. If the Jets do take any defensive players, short of maybe a cornerback in the first 2 picks, they'd probably revolt. I think there's a lot of.
If you get a corner,
corner's not
round pick.
Corner's not bad.
40-something.
We have the issues we have right now are going to be offensive line and receiver. So I think a lot of us are probably on the side of either Judy or Lamb at 11 if we can get 2 offensive linemen in free agency. Probably going to have to take a tackle at 11. So let's forget the receivers right now. You go into the second, you go after a wide receiver, maybe a Justin Jefferson or a Pittman from USC who has already played with Sam Darnold. So there's a continuity thing there. If you're trying to keep something pseudo-similar, he's a big-bodied guy, would be different from what we have currently on our roster. I really like Funchess a lot. That's someone that I brought up in my wide receiver breakdown. Someone who went to the Colts, went to IR pretty quickly, had to deal with Cam Newton in Carolina, so never really had a great opportunity to show his skill set with a quarterback. If you want a low-risk, high-reward player, Funchess is absolutely someone that the Jets should look into.
And he's not going to cost a lot. I mean, if we're talking about, let me just try to click these up here for you, because I just want to tell you, the top free agent lineman is 39 years old, Andrew Whitworth. Next one is Anthony Costanzo, which wouldn't be bad. Like if you guys decided to take Costanzo.
So the one guy we were talking about, I believe it was last live stream, and we were talking about a little bit on the Talking Jets panel this past Tuesday, was Jason Peters, the left tackle from the Eagles, is 38 years old. Joe Douglas has a connection with the Eagles. If the Jets cannot retain Kelvin Beachum, do you go after Peters for a year, have him be the stopgap? They already drafted Dillard. He's probably going to hit free agency. He's older. What are you going to have to pay him? I mean, I'm okay with that if that's the stopgap. I would be okay with Beachum for another year, even if we decided to maybe forego left tackle at 11. If for some reason there wasn't like a top guy, like if the top 3 go and you don't want to take the 4th offensive lineman, go out and take the number 1 wide receiver. I think CeeDee Lamb's probably going to be a DeAndre Hopkins style wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy, I sort of look at as almost like an Antonio Brown, like crisp route runner. Sort of, I guess, in that respect. He's stupid fast. I would be stoked with either one of those 2 guys, and I'd be so happy to have the Jets actually have a legitimate offensive weapon on the outside.
I understand that. But if you talk about a copycat league, and you and I talked about last season before the season even started, how The Bills and the Jets are on this kind of same path.
They are.
You take Darnold, we take Allen. You take Quinnen Williams, we take Ed Oliver. You know, I mean,
You guys got Mitch Morris. I wanted Mitch Morris. I wanted the center. We knew we wanted the center. We got Khalil instead.
Yeah, it was dragging their feet a little bit. But there's two things. The top linemen that are going to be in free agency this year, 7 of the 10 of them are going to be in their 30s. That's number one. Number two, if I were the Jets, like I may get some hate mail from your fans, but I'm going to tell you this. You take Darrell Williams at left guard, okay? He's from the Panthers. You take Darrell Williams. You throw everything you can at Jack Conklin.
I would love to
try to get him at right tackle, and then you draft with the 11th pick overall. You draft your left tackle. You get those 3 pieces now.
That's huge.
Well, think of it this way. Let me just give you my own personal experience. The Buffalo Bills won 10 games and made the playoffs with Cole Beasley, John Brown, and a rookie tight end.
Yep.
Because we addressed our line in the offseason.
That's what I wanted the Jets to do last year, and it killed me.
What I'm saying is, if it's a copycat league and you have to take care of your division first, what better platform that you have of doing that? I mean, Gase needs to know that his line is one of the reasons why Bell's not hitting his thing. Darnold's not hitting his thing. These receivers that you had last year were good enough. They possessed the skill set. You couldn't foresee Anunua what was going to go on with him. Herndon was suspended 4 games. You know, it's things that are out of the control of the talent of the team. I mean, I believe the Jets have a ton of talent. I think it gets skewed in the win-loss record, though, because of things that are happening. So that's my opinion. If you take Darrell Williams and you throw everything at Jack Conklin and you draft a left tackle with the 11th pick, you could play whatever with the rest of your picks that you want.
My dream situation. I like Darrell Williams from Carolina. I looked into him a little bit last year. He was one that I put on my kill, or no, sorry, not kill. My fuck on the fuck, marry, kill scale. It was like, okay, let's have this 1-year option.
I love that series.
Oh, it's such a great scale. I wanted him, but I think Graham Glasgow, the guard from the Lions, is someone I'm kind of stuck on because he plays center and guard. And the Jets are going to need a center. So if you can't get the center in the draft, you have the option to maneuver him around. I think we're going to keep Alex Lewis, the left guard that we have right now. So I would go after Graham. I would definitely go after Conklin. I think you have to go after Conklin to try and solidify that. But you also have Edoga. You took Edoga last year. For some reason, the Jets love Edoga. I don't really see it. He's a good pass protector, I guess. But he got smacked around. He had his lunch money stolen on multiple occasions last year. I'm gonna open up the phone lines too, just so we have it on the side. But yeah, no, I think there's some opportunities if the Jets can address guard, and if we go guard and tackle in free agency, and then maybe re-sign Beachum, then I would go with the wide receiver at 11.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt.
But I think we're gonna have to take the wide receiver or I think we're gonna have to take the offensive lineman at 11 because that's just it. I don't think the Jets are an attractive enough landing spot for offensive.
Mike, NY Sports MC.
Players. Mike, Sports NYC. What's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Yes. So I hear you guys talking a lot about the offensive lineman. I just want to see if you guys saw and what your thoughts were on Connor Hughes of The Athletic said that the Jets will be very aggressive, which obviously we hope, and they could sign Scherf and or Thuney. And he said it wouldn't be out of the question that they could get both of them. I just want to see what your thoughts were and if you think that's spending too much on the guard position.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Guys, if you haven't tuned into New York Sports, he's in the chat somewhere over there. Look, find his name in there. Go sub up his channel. He does some good Jets content. So his question was, there was an article by Connor Hughes talking about the Jets and the guard position, and that the Jets could potentially try to go after Scherf from Washington and Thuney from the Patriots. Now, I think that is a crap ton of money to spend on the guard position. I would not do that. I think that seems like a bad decision. I would go after Thuney and I would go after Graham Glasgow with the intention of either making Graham Glasgow our center or starting guard on the other side. I think that's okay. Then you have Edoga try to play the right-hand tackle, and then you draft your future left tackle at number 11. I think I would do that. Man, I don't know. Do you think there is something, the guard position, I think, is the cheapest, or maybe the center position. Guard or center are the two cheapest positions on the offensive line. Is it wise for the Jets to go in and spend that much money on guards? What do you think?
Well, let me ask you this. What's the likelihood that Le'Veon Bell is still a Jet next year?
I think
is he 100% a Jet?
I'd put it somewhere around the 85% that he's going to be a Jet, because I don't know if there's going to be a team that wants to take on that salary. I would absolutely eat salary cap space. The Jets could save $9.5 million. It's sort of like the conversation we were having about David Johnson. The Cardinals could trade David Johnson and save a ton of money against their cap. They can't trade him, or they can't cut him because it would hurt their cap situation if they cut him. The same thing happens with the Jets. So if the Jets could eat some of the salary to facilitate a trade and to get like maybe a third-round pick from maybe the Steelers, and the Jets eat maybe $6 million, we save $3 million instead. Honestly, even if we didn't save any money and it was a net zero, but we got a third-round pick, I would be okay with that. I think it'll be very hard to move Bell, though, and I think ultimately he'll wind up being on the Jets for next year, and then we'll cut him after next season when his contract's manageable.
Well, William G's talking in the chat. He says, "Stop talking about drafting an offensive line," in all caps. I'm assuming you're yelling at him. That's okay. No, but here's the deal.
It's not sexy. It's not a sexy pick at 11.
No.
Especially with Lamb and Judy on the board, it would like hurt, but it's a necessary evil, I think.
Listen, for a guy who has covered enough Bills drafts to know that they've been enough single digits. The line is where everything starts. I
Absolutely.
know it's not a sexy pick, and I understand that. Here's the deal. When you come into the NFL, the recent trend that's been going on, the receivers take 1 or 2 years to develop, okay? By the time your receiver is ready and developed for your quarterback signing his new deal, okay? That's what happens. If you gotta admit, you gotta stagger a lot of these contracts. Linemen, they don't need to. They come right in. They come right in and take care of what they need to take care of, especially if they're high-time picks and this and that. Please listen to a lifetime Jets fan. Listen, if we get time later near the end of the stream, I will tell you about my brother who's a Jets fan who used to bring me to Bills games wearing Jets gear. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is this. If you're able to, if you're sold on Bell being a running back, okay, and the dynamic player that he is, you've got to have somebody up front that could take care of business for him, because what does it do? It takes pressure off your quarterback. If people are worried about Bell, Darnold, and all those lanes, play action, everything opens up for your offense. And Darnold is too polished a quarterback for you not to have offensive linemen in front of him that could take care of business. Give the ball to Bell, give the ball to Herndon, give the ball on the outside to whoever, Crowder and everybody. It all starts up front, though. That's why I'm not that against taking it. I'm talking about the Bills taking an offensive lineman at 22 for
sure.
You know what I mean?
And you guys had a good offensive line.
Honestly. And he makes a point. Take a corner. I understand that. But if you're looking in your division next year, if Brady's not there, you got a rookie. You got Tua Tagovailoa projected to go to the Dolphins as a rookie. You got Josh Allen, who admittedly can't hit a deep ball. You don't need a corner to win the AFC East.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's just it. I think there's a lot of opportunities for the Jets to you increase that offensive line and you give Sam Darnold a little bit more time to throw. He'll pick apart that defense. I really firmly believe it. I think he's that good of a quarterback. I think when you can open up the play action or the run pass option, like I think the RPO was taken out of the Jets' arsenal this year just because Sam had the injury with the mono and they didn't want him to expose to hits. I think that was probably why we didn't see much of it this year, even though he excelled at it when we did see it. I don't want to see him running around willy-nilly, but I definitely want to see more play action. It gives the defense one extra thing to think about. You have Bell back there, run him out wide, just kind of open it up a little bit more. Guys, if you have not tried to answer the question down below, in the description of this video, there is a Discord link. Log on to that. Down on the lower left-hand side, you'll see a poll option, our question of the day, to be entered to win a shirt, a mug, a hat, whatever it is you want to win. To be entered to win, go down into that description. The question of the day, the Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long is that punt? Drop it down in the Discord down below, and you will be entered to win a shirt or hat or mug or something. Kind of like my little Discord hat right here. Like, well, bam, look at that little Discord guy. You think it looks like a Jets hat from afar, but it's stealthy. It's not a football. I will open up the lines. We'll try to get some more callers in here. I got to have this Google Voice on like a little tab. I don't have it pulled up. It's tough when I'm like doing it with another person because I can usually just talk to the one individual. But I kind of like doing the question and then talking, like bouncing the ideas around it. I think it gets a little more knowledge.
Great.
I think it's a lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. If we ever have one of our guys from the Talkin' Jets panel unable to make it, Mario, I am recruiting you to hop in one of the little 4 square system.
I'll be there. Oh, yeah. I'm off. We got midwinter break this week. I'm
Travis,
off. So.
I like it. Travis, you are on the cockpit. What's up, brother?
what's going on, Ryan? You're the man.
Oh, I like you. He says I'm the man. That's fantastic. Where are you calling from?
Mario, even though you like the Bills, you are doing a fantastic job.
He says you're doing a fantastic job, Mario, even though you're a Bills fan. I'm sorry. I have to repeat what you say because his audio doesn't. He doesn't hear that.
I've been watching.
That's all right. What's on your mind?
All right. So last season we signed Ty Montgomery, right?
Yep.
And we don't use him for crap. I'm sorry, I'm editing myself.
That's all right.
Yeah. Former wide receiver in college and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had the one muff punt, which kind of showed him the door over there. But with all the injuries and issues at wide receiver last year, and they didn't use him at running back last year, why not start him at wide receiver or give him playing time out there?
I like it.
I think it's more. If I can see it, I don't know why Adam Gase can't, and it's more an indictment on him. And keep up the good work, and love you.
Thanks, dude, brother. I love it. Absolutely great question. So he's talking about Ty Montgomery. The Jets brought him in last year. He played for the Packers. I want to say he played half a season for the Ravens. And the Jets had some issues on wide receiver. Maybe not so much last year, but I think last year was more an offensive line issue. But why did the Jets not try to use Ty Montgomery as a wide receiver option when we weren't using him as much as a running back option? And that is a question that I think a lot of Jet fans have, at least in terms of why they didn't use Bell I guess Bell and Montgomery. The running back situation was very, very lackluster, especially when we were excited to see what Montgomery had in the preseason. He was saying how the muffed punt that he had as a Packer basically, I don't want to say ended Montgomery's career, but it definitely hurt him. Like when he had that muffed punt.
Did he go to the Ravens after that?
He did. I want to say he spent 6 games there or something, or maybe half a season. I don't think he spent a full year. I could be wrong on that, but we got him. He's not under contract for next year, so we'd have to re-sign him if we wanted to bring him back. And based on the amount of times we used him, I just have a hard time seeing the Jets wanting to bring him back, even though I want to.
Oh well, let me just preface this by saying this because everyone's been calling me like this and that in the chat. I don't know.
It's a real jamoke over there.
I really am, yeah. Montgomery is not Bell.
Sure.
Let me just preface by saying that. However, he possesses a skill set that you do not have to change your offensive philosophy if you had to go from Bell to Montgomery. He's a receiving back. He can run it inside the tackles. He can do a bunch of things for you. That you don't have to, like, when you go from a running back in Miles Sanders, let's just say, to Darren Sproles, you know he's not running in between the tackles. You go from Sony Michel to James White, you know one's a receiving back, one's a pounder. Okay, that's one philosophy in the NFL that you have. The other philosophy is get 2 guys with similar skill sets so you don't have to change your offensive philosophy going into a game. I really wish they would have utilized Montgomery more. I thought he was very dynamic in Green Bay, but that just goes to show you, was that Montgomery or was that Rodgers? So in that respect, if you're playing the Packers, you're worried about the pass. Montgomery was able to run. If you're playing the Jets, what are you worried about? You know what I mean? If Montgomery's in the backfield. I love Montgomery personally. And if the Jets re-sign him, I think it'd be a smart move. You'd be able to have some consistency in your offense. But if they don't, they don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I think wide receiver, or I think running back is going to be an interesting topic of discussion because we have Bell under contract. There's potential of us moving him, but Montgomery's not under contract. Bilal Powell's not under contract. So the Jets could look in free agency. You're going to have Tevin Coleman out there. You're going to have Breida from the 49ers, both guys who have been underwhelming in that role out there. You have late round rookies that could potentially be taken. Do the Jets take one in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round? I think there's other options. I would not invest too much into running back because we have Bell right now. I would focus on the offensive line because I think Bell will get better, but we'll get better with a better offensive line. Now, we're not going to see 2 years ago Bell on the Steelers good. I don't think the Jets O-line is going to get that good in time for Bell, and I don't know if Bell is that same back anymore. I think he did lose a little bit of a step, but I would definitely look at the running back position as an area to improve without needing to necessarily spend crazy money. I think just different utilization, offensive line pieces, I think helps that a lot.
Let me ask you this. 2 years, $10 million. You have a chance to either sign Montgomery or sign Jerick McKinnon, who's projected to get cut in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you take?
How many games did McKinnon play this past year? I know zero. Okay.
So he tore his ACL in preseason.
For 2 years, $10 million, I don't think I bring in, I'll be honest, I don't know if I bring in a running back. I think I just draft one late. I think there's not enough
all I'm
upside.
Saying is because I'm just saying because McKinnon signed a huge deal.
Sure.
And he ended up getting hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt in San Francisco. That's where they got Breida, Mostert, all these other guys, Coleman. So all those guys went there, which means he's going to come cheap because he wants to resurrect his career.
Sure.
So he's a guy you can get for a song as a legit change of pace back. Like he's not a Montgomery. He's Jerick McKinnon. He's a guy that he can pound it inside the tackles because no one's expecting him to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
you get some interesting things. And I was watching one of your videos that you and Paul did the other day. I think it was your quick blitz of the David Johnson situation, the rapid fire. You guys were running around real quick, and you guys brought up how David Johnson looks huge and should be able to run through the tackles, but is very much an outside the tackles type runner. And I think that's kind of where the Jets wind up falling. I don't know if we have that inside the tackles runner right now because we don't have the offensive line to hold the blocks like Bell was able to do in Pittsburgh. So is Montgomery that kind of back? Is he more of an outside the tackles kind of guy? Do the Jets need an inside the tackles guy like a McKinnon?
I mean, I don't think so. Here's the thing: your big dog is Bell. Okay,
of course.
He's a zone scheme guy. Is Gase's zone scheme, offensive coordinator? What is he calling? Okay, let's put the thing this way. Then you go to the college ranks. How many teams in college are actually running zone schemes? Well, who runs zone schemes? Those teams that don't have horses. Well, who doesn't have horses? All those like MAC teams or those those second tier teams that end up getting blown out by Alabama by 50. You know what I mean? But they have zone concept guys. So if you want to pick those guys up, if they have the wherewithal and the gumption to do that, then you can draft your lineman late if that's what you're thinking about doing. However, if you just want a stud, you can do a bunch of those things. Getting back to McKinnon, I like McKinnon's skill set. I think it's different from Bell's, which will give you a different look on defense. So if McKinnon comes in the game, it's not like they're going to be playing the same kind of defense against McKinnon as they would against Bell. That's the only thing. I only brought him up because he's that different, and I know he's going to get cut. So.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting topic moving forward. I'll open up the lines again so we can get some more calls in before the end of the show. Grandpa Mark, I think, has been trying to call. He's somewhere in there. I saw him. He answered the poll question in the Discord. Guys, if you have not tuned in, down below, hit the like button first. It helps the YouTube algorithm, so you guys would be doing me a very good solid if you hit that like button. If you want to be really cool, you can hit the subscribe or the bell notification button, and also sub up Mario. Guys, if you have not hit the Discord down below, the question of the day: Jets have the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long was that punt? Answer that question in the Discord down below. What is up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm not too happy about Robby Anderson right now.
He's not too happy about Robby Anderson right now.
And just for the fact that he declined $10 million, wow.
Sure.
You're really fucking greedy.
Look, I think there's a lot of issues with Robby turning down $10 million, but at the same time, he's been in the league for 4 years. He's only made a total of $4 million because he was an undrafted free agent, and then he signed his restricted free agent tender this past year, which I believe was $3 million. So I think when you look at it, Robby's 27 years old. If it were me and I was giving advice to someone in that position, I would say get as much money as you can. This sport will take you for every ounce of strength you have. Get the money while you can, and unfortunately I don't think the Jets are in the position that they should to give Robby more money than $10 million a year.
Exactly. And honestly, man, like the way how I see it, I just feel like he's greedy and he's not caring about the other positions that need to be fixed.
Ooh, see, that's a tough one for me, and thank you for the call. I'm gonna bounce this over to Mario. When you have a player that's looking for a lot of money, like a Robbie Anderson, who turned down $10 million a year, now you know the shelf life of a NFL player. They get a pension after 3 years. So the fact that Robbie's made it to 4 years means he has beaten the odds and has been in the NFL for a good amount of time. He's set to make probably $13 million a year on a long-term contract with some team across the NFL. Do you have an issue with players being greedy and not thinking about assembling a team around them, or do you think they should take as much money as they can get when they can get it? What is your opinion on that sort of topic?
Well, I think it's a little different now because at the end of this season, the 2020 collective bargaining agreement gets discussed. So contracts are going to be completely different. So guys could take two different slants. They can either sign as many deals and try to get as much money now as they can before the new CBA comes out, or they could say, all right, well, I'm going to see what's on the other side of this fence. I'm not going to sign for a long-term deal. So what we saw 2 years ago, guys were signing 2-year deals. What we signed 3 years ago, guys were signing 3-year deals. You know what I mean? So they were coming into this question and saying, oh, what's going on?
Well, there's a reason why Kirk Cousins signed a 3-year fully guaranteed deal, and it's because he knew that after 2020, when his last year of his 3-year deal was up, that new CBA was going to be coming into effect. Someone is going to pay Kirk Cousins a ton of money next year, whether it be the Vikings or someone else, because those contracts are going to be totally reset. I don't know if we'll see fully guaranteed contracts like what we saw with Cousins, or if it'll be some type of change. I saw a comment or an article, was it today or yesterday, about how the NFL owners are talking with the Players Association, and if the players agree to a 17-game schedule along with like the money kind of being evenly dispersed or whatever, I think one of the topics they were talking about was the franchise tag and how much money you would get on that franchise tag. They want to make that value way higher so it discourages owners from using the tag on the player. Now, you can really get tagged once. A quarterback could get tagged twice because the price on that franchise tag the second time you do it is
120.
It's 120% of what you were just paid, because the franchise tag initially, that first tag you get is the average of the top 5 at your position unless you're already in that top 5. Then you get 20% more than the highest paid contract. And since you would be getting tagged a second time, you were technically already one of those top 5 highest paid players, and your contract would be astronomical. And that's what we saw with Cousins. He was tagged twice. And they honestly could have done it a third time if they really wanted to. They could have done it.
It's 40. It's 144, isn't it? The third time if you get tagged. I think it's 44%.
Does it go up even higher than that? I thought it was another 120 on. I always thought it was like another 120 on top of it. I didn't realize there was another threshold.
It's 144. That's why they let him go.
Oh man, that is outrageous.
So
Absolutely.
he was getting guaranteed money either or.
Oh yeah.
In the fact of that, but it's interesting to see about the 17-game season. I don't understand that. Number one, number two.
I think the 16-game schedule is perfect.
Well, it's still a brutal schedule for these kids. You know what I mean? And I say kids because
that's what they are
when they come out. You know.
Sure.
What I mean? They were discussing another thing, and just talking about the CBA real quick. They were talking about making all of the fifth-year options franchise tags. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with that,
they're transition tags.
Yeah, the franchise tag works in this. They take the top 5 players at your position, what they're paid, and they average it out. That's the franchise tag. The 5th-year option is the top 10. Mm-hmm. So they were thinking of trying to do that as far as what they were going to try to do. So
that's interesting.
It's crazy.
I really like the 16-game schedule. I hope they don't do this. I hope they don't make it 17-game schedule. And if they do, because the whole idea behind the 17-game schedule, yes, you get an extra game. I think you'd have to give up the 2 preseason games. I think you'd have to do a 2 preseason game thing. But I would like to see a second bye week. I think you could have Thursday night games after a bye week so players aren't strapped to come around right after and play a game 4 days after. Every Thursday night game comes after a bye week. You get 2 bye weeks. You now get more healthy players on the field. You stretch the season out 1 extra week. You bring the Super Bowl to President's Weekend instead of the, that first week of the season.
See,
the first week of February.
I'm on the other side of that.
So you don't want at it.
I hate Thursday night games.
Oh, so I would get rid of them, but I think they would get better if you had more time to prepare for them.
If you had more buys and all that stuff, I would completely eliminate Thursday night games. Listen, you already own Sundays. In the fall, you own Sundays.
Oh yeah.
Even at that, okay, you got a Monday night game. Sweet. That's for Vegas. The Monday night games for Vegas. The 14. The Thursday night games are just absolutely ridiculous, and I hate that. Like, okay, I got to spend 3 days now. Oh wait. Oh, I wake up and 1 year I want to watch the Bills. I got to wake up at 9 in the morning because they're playing in freaking London. Like, shut up. Like,
oh, it's miserable.
It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. But I can understand why they're doing it is because for the past 8 or 9 years, they've been generating revenue that the salary cap has been going up. Guys, the salary cap is going to cap off at some point. It's
kind of got to happen, right? Like, there's going to be an eventual situation where too many people are cutting the cord on cable, where the cable deals are going to have to get smaller. I would think. There was a big issue with a lot of people. I know I heard it a lot with Colin Kaepernick and how the NFL's losing money because Colin Kaepernick took a knee and, oh, screw the NFL and all that. It's like, well, look, the NFL salary cap is based on the amount of revenue that's made. And since Colin Kaepernick took that knee, the cap has increased every single one of those years. So the NFL's not losing money. They are printing bills in the basement of that greedy little New York building that they got in the city. I think, I don't know. I don't want to see that 17-game schedule. I don't mind having an extra week and pushing the Super Bowl to a day where most people would have that Monday off. I think that would be very cool. I think you'd probably increase viewership there, but I would like to see the second bye week. I think guys need more time to rest and more time to heal their bodies up. Right now, they're just playing with injuries all the time.
But then you would have teams that would complain because it would work out in some manner that they had 2 bye weeks in a row.
Well, I think you'd have to prevent that. You cannot have 2 bye weeks in a row. You'd have to have them.
Imagine playing 8 games and then
the Jets had a bye week after. The Jets had a bye week at week 4 this year, and I was ready to punch a midget. I was like, I'm just gonna go on a baby punching rampage and just like knock the snot out of kids. Oh God, it drove me absolutely bananas. I can't do this. I'm gonna open up the phone lines one more time. We'll take one more phone call before we get to our question of the day, guys. The Discord down below. If you have not answered the question, down in the Discord. The Jets own the record for the longest punt in NFL history. How long was that punt? Go to the Jets Discord. There's an option that says poll. Click on that. Vote there. I'm going to raffle off a shirt, mug, hat, whatever you want to get from the Jets Talk store. And I will be announcing that in about 5 minutes, so you have a little bit more time. We have about 20 people that have answered overall. So if you guys, we got 90 people in the chat right now. There's 90 people. You guys can go down in the Discord, get yourself a shot to win a shirt.
Big Green.
Oh, Big Green, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Oh, good to be back. Your buddy Hashtag over there, his volume's terrible. It's really hard to hear. I had to put my headphones in.
You're saying his volume's really bad. His volume's coming through fine on my side. Let me know in the chat. Is Mario's volume any weird thing going on? We're like 2 hours into this. This is you're finally telling me now? What are you doing? Come on,
oh yeah, I was watching something else. Oh shit, it's Monday.
What's on your mind as far as questions go?
All right, who do you think are going to be day one pickups for the Jets in free agency?
Ooh, Big Green, good question. I like it. So Big Green asks, what would be a day one pickup for the Jets in free agency? It's got to be offensive line or edge rusher. That has got to be the top thing on their board. Let me see if I can get, where are you? Input capture. Everything's maxed out, so I don't know why. I guess I can max you out a little bit.
I'm trying to look at my end, bud. So wait a second.
I think you're all right. I think it's just me, not, or maybe I got to raise the volume on this thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I think.
Well, I just turned my mic up. Hopefully it's.
We only have one person that said, one person said volume.
There's another person in there.
Yeah, we'll see.
So what was the question again? I'm sorry.
So the question was, what should the Jets' first move be in free agency? Should they attack edge rusher? Should they attack offensive line, wide receiver? What is that first position the Jets you think should absolutely go after right away?
Well, like I said, and it's going to be contrary to what William in the chat has been saying. Like I said, I'd be all right with the Jets taking the lineman with the 11th pick. I mean, he wants an impact player, and I can understand that. You want a guy that's also back there with like a Jamal Adams type, and I understand that. At the 11th pick, you could get a guy like that. As far as the free agency goes for the New York Jets, if you think that the external guys, because there's a lot of wide receiver talent everyone's talking about in the draft. Okay, if you're confident in your staff that you can develop wide receivers that come in as rookies, that's fine. Okay, then you're going to take the offensive lineman, defensive lineman in free agency. The names and the numbers that I mentioned for the Jets, you have 7 of the top 10 offensive linemen that are going to be on the free agents this year. That's going to be a problem as far as longevity goes. So
Sure.
if you want longevity in the position, then you draft. Okay, if you don't, then you're going to sign some of these 30-year-old. You're going to sign some of these veterans that will come in and play for 1 or 2 years while you still got Le'Veon Bell with fresh legs, and then you're going to draft all the wide receivers. So I always say this: look for where your team goes heavy in the free agency, because that'll determine who they're going to draft. I mean, the Jets are in a great spot. I still love the Jets trading out of 11 and getting bodies in camp. There's so much talent in this draft.
I really want to build through the draft, and I am not one. Last year, look, I was all on Le'Veon Bell. I'm happy we got C.J. Mosley. We didn't really see that coming when I was predicting stuff. I didn't think linebacker was going to be a need with Avery Williamson here. But I don't need to spend a ton of money in free agency. Edge rusher and O-line are the 2 spots I would, though. I think Ndakwe, I think you might be able to get Fowler a little bit cheaper. I have my edge rusher video probably dropping on Wednesday. I'm going to go over like 13 guys. And that's the whole reason behind this whole Fuck, Marry, Kill series. It's the idea of you can have a guy. There's always a time. There's a time for that one night stand. There's a time to get married. You don't necessarily have to marry every player that comes out onto free agency. You can have a Jason Peters from the Eagles who's 38 years old play on your team for 1 year, give you solid production for that 1 year on a, it could be an expensive deal for 1 year, but at least you have that stopgap for a year until we're actually able to get a long-term solution at that spot. So I'm not opposed to signing someone older or going after another, other positions. I like that second tier of free agency. I think Joe Douglas is going to want to build depth on this team because I think it's something we have not had in a very, very long time.
I'm arguing with Anthony in the chat.
Oh, Anthony's getting all fired up, punching the vertically challenged.
It was so funny because he's been peppering me the whole time. I want somebody to tweet that, by the way. Ryan punching the vertically challenged.
Punching the vertically challenged. I'm gonna get kicked off YouTube. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he's punching the midgets."
Anthony's been coming at me. He's been peppering me by saying that because I said Darnold is more polished. Mm-hmm. I said more polished than any of the quarterbacks that came out in his class.
I think that's right. I do. I mean,
I still think he is because Allen has trouble with the deep ball. I mean, Jackson, we saw in the playoff game, he can't hit it outside the numbers.
No, quarterback-wise, he's tough.
Mayfield's at the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, no, I think of the quarterbacks that I've seen from that draft class right now, I feel the most comfortable with Sam Darnold. Now, of course, I wish we had Lamar Jackson to have that great playoff run that they had, but you saw when you got to the playoffs, he wasn't able to hit the passes that needed to be hit. And I think Sam can hit those types of passes. It's just a matter of if you can get to the playoffs with Sam. And I think you can. You just got to build the team around him. The team that Lamar Jackson has around him, you'd think they had a first-round pick prior to Lamar Jackson. They traded up to the 32nd overall pick to get him. That's just like the Texans. It's just like the Chiefs. They traded up. They were playoff caliber teams. They moved up to get their quarterback. Even the Bills. I would argue the Bills were a very good roster. They moved up to get Allen. Yes, they had a lot of draft picks. They did the right things last offseason to surround Allen. The things that I wanted the Jets to do, like sign the offensive lineman, go after reasonable wide receivers. The whole your receiving core and your offensive line is exactly the mold that the Jets should try to follow in this offseason.
I got to tell you right now, if you got the offensive linemen, which they're not top tier talent, I'm going to say that right now, and I'm probably going to get some hate mail from Buffalo from that, but they're not top tier talent, but they work well as a unit. They have a great offensive line coach, and they were able to work together the entire season. If Darnold gets that next year, I'm going to be very, very afraid of the Jets. It was funny because I got Dirty Randy in here from hashtag. He's one of our subs too. He goes, I was talking about everyone. He goes, Rosen? LOL, never mind. It was pretty funny. Honestly, if you build that offensive line in front of Darnold, you're going to see a completely different player, and a lot of people's opinions of Gase may change because then you guys will be successful. You guys will be putting up. Now, what do you guys consider success? If Rose, if Darnold throws for 200 and they win, is that different than Darnold throwing for 350 and they lose? Like, would you take a Dak Prescott-esque season out of him?
Yes, absolutely. I would. I think Sam is better than Dak. I think Sam, when you're looking at quarterbacks around the league, there's not too many more I think you take over Sam, at least at this point right now. Maybe after the season, if he has a bad year, we revisit it. But I think at this point, Sam has shown enough promise that there is a lot of upside there with Sam Darnold. And I think when you look at what he's able to do and you look at the guys that like were drafted, you look at Rosen. How lucky were the Jets to just totally miss this bullet of trading up to 3? Baker goes 1. The Jets wanted Baker or Darnold. They didn't think Sam was going to be there. Thank God the Giants passed on Sam Darnold. Otherwise, we would have wound up with Josh Rosen. That would have been absolutely horrible. I think there's a part of me that really wants to see. I don't know. I think Sam's the truth. I really do. I think Sam's the truth. I think you get him an offensive line. You let him run the play action and things like that. I think he is the best quarterback since Peyton Manning that Adam Gase has had in his offense. You have Ryan Tannehill. You have Jay Cutler. I guess you can throw Simeon in there too. I really think Sam Darnold is the best of the bunch in terms of quarterbacks that he has had to deal with since Peyton Manning.
I believe so. Just from and everyone was talking about his senior season, about all the turnovers that Darnold had, and I had to eat crow. I like Josh Rosen coming out because he reminded me of a like Joe Montana-esque type quarterback where he didn't have the strongest arm, but it seemed like he had possession of the offense itself. Then when he gets drafted 10th and he says, well, there were 9 mistakes made before me. Well, not really, Josh.
It's like, ooh.
So I wasn't very high on Josh Allen, but the kid started to grow on me and everything else. But I still maintain the fact that, okay, I like Darnold. Of all the guys that are coming out, Baker, you can't really predict his off-field thing. If Josh Allen goes to New York, I mean, he's a country boy going to a big city. How's he going to handle that? You know what I mean? There are things that are off the field that Darnold is able to handle. I think a lot of people kind of gloss over that. I mean, if Darnold were to go to like a small market team, I think it would be a little bit different.
Sure.
But the fact that he's in New York City, there's such a big expectation in New York City to win all the time, and he's handled it from my viewpoint as an outsider pretty well, except for the whole mono episode. But the guys, he still hasn't even come close to his ceiling yet. It's not even close to it. We've seen Lamar Jackson's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. How much better can Lamar Jackson get? I mean, that was incredible this past year.
It's a video game.
Yeah, he is Michael Vick in Madden 2004. That's what Lamar Jackson is right now.
Oh my God,
he was scary. Just playing an entirely different game. Guys, I want to get to our question of the day. We're right towards the end of the chat. I want guys in the chat. Give me a number 1 through 20 in the chat. I'll take the top 3 of them and then I'll count down. I do like a little. I count all the people that got it. So I'll do it. So we got number 8. We'll see what else. We got a 9 and a 5. Okay, so we got 17, 23. So for the shirt, the correct answer for the Jets punter Steve O'Neill owns the NFL record for longest punt in football history. How long was that punt? Mario, how long was that punt?
98 yards.
98 yards was the correct answer.
1969.
Correct answer. We had about 23 people or so get that correct. And let's see, I said 23 was the number, 8, 17, 22. I'm sorry, 22 is the number. So I'm going to count down 22 people. 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22. Ooh, so this is going to be our buddy, the main dude over on the Discord server, Kaiser Revy. You are going to be our winner of the shirt, hat, mug, whatever you want to get from the Jets channel. So hit me up, Kaiser. You are the winner for this week for that shirt. Mario, I want to thank you so much for helping me out with this live stream today. If you guys have not tuned into Mario's channel and Paul's channel, #sports, they go over Bills stuff, but they go over more than just Bills stuff. They hit salary cap questions. They hit free agent questions. They have a bunch of stuff going on over there, and they are one of the more fun channels that I enjoy listening to outside of the Jets realm of things. So make sure you sub him up Mario, is there anything else you want to say before we close this out?
Nothing, man. There's just two things. Number one, thank you for allowing me to come in here and chat with the cockpit, or with the passengers in the cockpit and everything. It's so much fun to get a different perspective of, because honestly, guys, I'm a Bills fan, yes, but I just love talking football. And Ryan and I, we've done these collabs before. We have a great time just talking football back and forth, and we have that singular thing. We just want the Patriots to lose. That's why we have this bond. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, ladies and gentlemen. So let me do this. Let me just throw this out to the passengers. I'm throwing a challenge out to your passengers, okay? Okay.
Let's hear it.
You did come to Buffalo. We did meet up for some wings.
We did.
People don't know about that.
We did.
I will say this. On your next 4 Mondays.
Yes.
Okay, when you do this live stream.
Yep.
Right. I'm going to start it with this one.
Yep.
He's got 70 likes right now. I'm going to challenge the passengers in the cockpit. If you guys get 100 likes over the next 4 live streams that Ryan has, okay? You get 100 likes on all those. I'll let Ryan put me through a table in Buffalo when he comes here next time.
Oh! I get to put Mario through a table. You guys better get 100 likes right now. I want to keep the stream going for an extra 5 minutes to make sure we get to that 100.
Do it right now.
Make sure you hit that like
4 in a row.
button. I want to get 100 likes right now, and I'm putting Mario through a table. That's part 1. That's 25% of the way. If we get 100 likes on this video, that'll be part 1 of the 100 like 4-part series. So we're up to 75 already. We got it.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
A jet putting a build through a table. You guys don't want to do that? Smash that like button.
You have to hit the like button. I want to do this. Look. Big Green wants to do it. Sports Fan wants to do it. Ted says Impractical Jokers. You know it.
Oh, yeah, it was
77. I got my like ready to leave music going, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't do that yet because I gotta like
RKO.
RKO. Watch out. RKO. No. Oh my God. I would love it.
Man.
I would absolutely love that. I got to see it. We're at 80 likes right now, guys. Come on. We got to get to the 100. If we get to 100.
How many likes for putting Brady through one?
Oh, man. If we get 100 likes, we will find Tom Brady. And Mario and I will both put him through a table.
Oh, my God.
The last time Tom Brady was on a table, he made out with his son. So we got to be very careful with how close we get to Tom Brady on a table.
Oh, God.
That's
18 away now.
18 away.
This is fun.
It's creeping up there. 17 away, little by little, guys. I want to see this hit 100, and I know we're going to hit it when I log off and we have this, going for the next
you
day.
have late night people that watch it. I know.
They'll tune in, they'll jump in, they'll be like, oh yeah, let's see that. And hopefully they listen to the end, because this is something we probably should have started at the beginning. And then people would be like, oh man, 100 likes. Mario's going through a table. There would have been 200. We have 72 passengers in here right now. There's got to be more people. Do we have 17 more people in the chat? 17 more people that can hit the like button to put Mario through a table. That is a challenge. Awesome. 16 more people. This is what it's come down to. It's me begging for likes to put my friend Mario through a table. You want to see it. I want to see it. Hashtag sports. RKO, Gangrene David, and Ryan at the same time. Ooh.
The funniest part about it is that I know I'm sitting down, I'm in my chair and everything, and you see Ryan and all this other stuff. Ryan has met me in person. He knows I'm 6'5", 250 pounds.
Big dude. I'm not tall. I'm like 5'9", and I can't lie about it. For me to do this, I'm going to need a stool to like put you through a table. That's how this is going to have to work. We're at 88. We had 89. Someone just disliked this. Someone is a bad person and wants, children in third world countries to get AIDS. That's what just happened. That's ridiculous. You guys are absolutely jerks. I want to see 11 more likes. We're so close. We're right there to get this man through a table. We're right there.
Switched accounts. It's so funny.
See, you guys switch accounts. You like it on all your accounts. You see it. It helps the YouTube algorithm. We lost another one. We're down to 88. 89. You guys are bouncing me all over the place. See, they don't want to see you go through a table. We got too much Bills Mafia in here. That's what it is. Bills Mafia is like, they're like, no, Ryan's going through a table. I'm just like,
oh yeah, no, it's funny. No, but all right. But here's the thing. If it gets to 100 afterward, that's great. If we have 4 weeks in a row, the next time we meet up, we will do that.
Sure.
And you know what? Like I said before, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to come on and talk to the passengers in the cockpit. I love talking football, Jets, Bills, anything else like that. So I hope I gave you guys a little bit of information on the salary cap and all those things tonight. So I always appreciate Ryan bringing me on here and talking football. So.
Absolutely, Mario. It's been great having you on here. And guys, that's going to be it for all of us. Keep hitting that like button. Let's see it. Guys, sub up #sports. Go over, check them out. Great Bills channel, great Bills content. And that'll be it for us tonight. We will catch you next week. Thanks for flying, passengers.